4, 3, 2, 1. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. And we are live now. Hey, everybody. You are watching and listening to the We Are Rizin podcast. This is your host, Andrew Benjamin. I'm joined by my co-host who can take a better slap than Chris Rock, Jay Christian Gary from Focus Fights.
Hey, y'all. How's it going? And before we even get to talking about Rizin 35, we also got our favorite Rizin fan from Southern California, JayWolf. How are you?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks a lot for having me on. Boy, I'm so excited about this. This epic Rizin 35 is just gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to do this show with you guys. So let's get to it and let's have some fun.
Before we get into the full card, Jay, you know, one of the reasons why I wanted you to have you on is because you're a big proponent of having international fighters for Rizin, all that stuff. What do you think about this card? You know, it kind of looks like a Rizin show from pre-pandemic. You know, if you go to Wikipedia, you see lots of different flags from different countries next to the fighters' names.
And I cannot wait. I can't describe to you how excited I am for this. This is my most anticipated mixed martial arts weekend of the year so far. I mean, it's just, we got 2 back-to-back epic Rizins, a trigger in the cage, and then a numbered event 35 in the ring and they all international fighters are back. The COVID era is done and over with, and now the international athletes are back. And man, it's going to be so much fun. This is the beginning right here. This is the beginning of the new golden era. You watch. And then this is the 20th anniversary of Dynamite this year. The match was just announced with Takahiro Ashida. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be so much fun this year. I just cannot wait. It's just, I'm so excited.
I mean, I can understand what you're talking about when it comes down to the match, Tenshin versus Takahiro. Can't wait to see it. But I just only hope that we here in North America, specifically in the United States and in Canada, where Jack Aguan is from, I just hope that we can actually see it and not, have to resort to drastic measures, if you know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure they will.
I will say this. If I want to, internationally is great, but listen, I want to make sure that they get their money. Okay. This fight is however many years in the making. Hopefully there's a way that.
Let's just face it right now. This fight's been 7 years in the making.
Mm-hmm. And, listen, they should, this is big fight money. They should get their money for putting on, a card like that or a match like that at this point. So
did you see the price points for the tickets?
Oh my God. Yeah. That's entirely like yeah.
Let's just face it. Mike Tyson fought his second fight. Well, actually, Mike Tyson fought 2 fights at the Tokyo Dome versus Tony TNT Tubbs in 1988, and obviously the Buster Douglas fight in February of 1990. I think for the second fight, those ticket prices that they have, which were like around $25,000 US, are the same for this card. Coming up in June.
Yeah, so they're going to load it up. They're going to get their money, and I'm pretty much guaranteeing that they're going to have it available on either Live Now or whatever. It's going to be available for international fans. There's no way that for a fight this big, they know there's going to be international demand to watch it. So they're going to have an option for international fans to watch, guaranteed. So I won't even worry about that, Jay Krish.
Or if worse comes to worse, just have it free on a Bima. That's what Bima is no longer. Well, I should say no longer, but for the most part, is not as geo-blocked as it was. Like, it seems like months ago. But yeah, so have it for free on a Bima. Don't care about Japanese commentary, but if you want to, listen, we'll all pay for it to watch it on this side of the earth. So
it's going to be awesome. Like I said, we are entering a new golden era right now. You guys know me. I have been watching since the very beginning. I have seen all this happen. And dude, I remember what the golden era was like in the mid 2000s. And I'm telling you guys right now, this is so much fun right now. And this right now, this weekend with Rizin Trigger 3 and Rizin 35, and then also Bellator 277 or whatever number it is. Dude, it's just so much fun right now. It's just, and we're going to have so much fun with this event. You guys watch, because you've been seeing this past couple of years with COVID, the COVID Rizin events. You guys have seen the fighters have become acclimated to the superior rule set. we're seeing pride rules strikes in almost practically every mixed martial arts fight that's on there. There's at least one like grounded knee here and there. And then even on this Rizin 35 card, I can't wait to get into it because one of the title fights, Hamasaki and Sikazawa, that's now it's a rematch, and this time's for a title. But remember, the first time that fight was decided because of up kicks, superior rule set up kicks that would be illegal in the UFC, but is legal in Epic Rizin. That is how Izawa beat Hamasaki the first. She was not able to recover from up kicks. And will that be a factor in this fight? I don't know. But it's I'm telling you guys, it's just so much fun. The Epic Rizin superior rule set is the most dynamic fighting environment known to man. The most exciting. It's just the most exciting. It's so much fun. I can't wait. And now the international athletes are back. The fans are in for a treat. So you guys are not going to want to miss this weekend. I just can't wait to watch with you guys. It's going to be so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't wait to watch it, to be honest with you, but
just make sure you get some sleep, because if you're watching both shows back to back, oh my God, you're going to need some extra strong monster energy or something, hey, listen, because this is kind of like, I'm trying to think, this is when I used to like watch horror movie marathons on TV when I was a kid, when they do like 3 days straight on AMC. Oh boy, those were marathons.
Those were the days. Well, we just had a practice about a week ago. There was a big kickboxing. There was a Rise kickboxing show and then a K1 kickboxing show, both on back-to-back nights. Mm-hmm. And it was a good practice run to stay up for both of those shows. And I got the good formula down for people. What you do is you just get a little power nap in before the show starts. And apparently the shows are starting. The Rizin Trigger 3 and Rizin 35 are starting at 10 p.m. Pacific time, 1 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So what you do is you get just do a power nap and get you a coffee or something, and then like an iced coffee, put it in the refrigerator, get yourself a little power nap in, and then enjoy the show from 1 to whenever, or 10 to like 3 or whatever, and just have your coffee ready to go, and you'll be able to handle it no problem, because the Trigger event is only 9 fights, and then the Rizin 35 event the next day is 10 fights, and they're all mixed martial arts, no kickboxing this time, nothing but superior rule set action. So it's going to go light and fast.
JayWolf, I want to actually ask you about that, because other than the landmark cards, these most Rizin shows have been at least dozen or more so fights. What do you think about I guess for Rizin 35, the number 10? Do you think that's a nice balance? Do you think it's are you disappointed that they didn't go the full 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? What do you think about this kind of like this in between landmark numbered / triggered amount of fights?
Well, you know what? I want to see how long they have the show go for. Did they push it past 3 a.m. Pacific time for the Fuji TV time slot at 4 a.m. here or whatever it is? I think their Fuji TV time is like 7 or 8 p.m. or whatever. Or they just go straight through. Remember the trigger events, the past couple trigger events? Dude, once it starts, the pacing of the trigger events is like lightning fast. It's one fight after the other. There's no VTRs or anything. So it just goes real quick. And then for the numbered events, that'll be really interesting to see how they're going to do that one. But I definitely am in the camp where I would have liked more fights on there, like 15, 12 to 15 each card would have been great for me. But I just want more all the time, because I love it so much, especially superior rule set action. Now international athletes are back. Oh yeah, give me as many as possible, please. I can never get enough of them.
And so by asking that, JayWolf, the next show will be all kickboxing fights and one MMA fight. So that's what you're going to cause. That's what you're going to cause.
Is that what the match is going to be? The match card?
It'll be 15. Let's get into Rizin 35. This will be from the Musashino Forest Sport Plaza in Tokyo. First time that they're actually, same thing. Trigger Third will also be in that arena as well.
But it's just like you said, Andrew, it's going to be taking place at the Musashino Forest Sports Center, which, of course, if you're a fan of Olympic sports as I am, you would know that venue was home to badminton for the Olympics last year.
Badminton.
Yeah, and also fencing as well.
And as well as fencing as well.
It could hold over 10,000. So I'm not so sure what ticket numbers are doing. I haven't usually that CJ's is the guy who I asked for that, but we'll have to wait and see, on the day of, how it looks. And hopefully it's selling pretty well. I haven't heard it's selling bad, so I guess that's kind of good.
I'm pretty sure they're doing well. They've done well in the pandemic, and when that was just all Japanese, and now they got international athletes coming back. So I mean, I can't see them not doing well, to be honest with you. And we'll see. I'm pretty sure they're going to be at pretty much max capacity for both shows. So, but
I wouldn't be surprised if this show is like a sellout or close to sellout, and Trigger isn't, just because I don't know if you're gonna have people who go to both shows. You might have someone who just chooses the bigger show over the smaller show, all that. That's at least my theory, or my belief.
No, you're probably absolutely right on that.
Oh, you'll have those rising crazy fans who will definitely go to both. They're the exception, though, I think. But let's get into the first fight, gentlemen. And speaking of international fighters, we got one of an international fighter, Kyle Aguan, taking on Takahiro Ashida. Both lost in their last matches in Rizin. Aguan, as we all know, the husband of Miyu Yamamoto, and I believe we'll have Ersan and her.
You know what? Go ahead and continue.
I was just saying he's gonna have Ersan and Miyu. It's like in both in his corner. Shida, from the Brave Gym, so JayWolf, I will post it to you. First fight. What do you think about this featherweight fight, and how do you think this fight can potentially go?
I like it. I mean, like you said, international athlete right away in the first fight. So I'm looking forward to this. And it's Miyu Yamamoto's husband, Kyle Aguan, and I'm rooting for him. And is he repping the American flag, or is he repping Guam?
He's repping Guam.
Oh well. All right, I'll still root for him, but
technically, listen, I know that Guam is an American territory or whatever, but technically it is still an independent country.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll probably root for him, and I don't know. Have we seen Takahiro Ashida? Has he fought in Rizin before? I can't remember.
Oh yes, many times.
Okay. What was he exciting as well? Can you refresh my memory, please?
Oh yeah.
Good. Excellent. I remember Aguan put on a good show in his fight as well, and he was like inches away from winning on like a soccer kick with his. So I mean, you can see that he already knows the superior rule set and he's acclimated to it. So I'm expecting action-packed fight right away off the bat here.
When it comes down to Takahiro Rashida, under Rizin rules in kickboxing and in MMA, he is 1-2. In the actual Rizin Fighting Federation, he's currently 1-1.
Oh, okay.
You reminded me, Christian. I forgot he had the match with the kickboxing match with Ren Hiramoto at the Bellator after Rizin. Yeah, I totally forgot about that until you just mentioned that. But yeah, Ashida also has defeated your favorites, Jay, Kyoya Hagawara.
That's right. Oh gosh, how can I forget that?
The triangle armbar or triangle Kimura thing?
I probably blocked it out of my memory because he beat my boy.
That's true. Now here, Jay, Chris, we are, part of the camp that loves finishes. One of the things about Kyle Aguan, as you can see from his record, is that he is not a finisher when it comes to his wins. So, but we are fans of the Yamamotos. And so what do you think about Aguan's chances of potentially finishing this fight, maybe even getting his first win by KO?
Well, to be honest, considering the fact that he's married to Miyu Yamamoto, I would simply say that the no finish gang is at it again. But to be quite honest, and let's be real, this fight should be deemed, and I'm sorry if I'm getting my head down here, I'm actually looking at my burner phone while I'm, reading all this off. This is pretty much a must-win fight for both of these men. I mean, if we were to really give a damn about records, Aguan is 0-2 in Rizin since coming over from Pancrase. Ashida is currently 1-2 in Rizin rules, kickboxing and MMA, 1-1 in Rizin MMA in general. So, this is definitely a must win or a must fight worth a damn fight. Because if these two men, if they're not going to be swinging for the fences, they're definitely going to be swinging for crowd support. Because they need to finish. This fight needs to end in a finish.
Yeah.
No judges. Don't let the fight go to the judges' scorecards. Just go up straight out and kick ass. But if this fight does happen to end in a decision, I would have to say, and I hate picking against the American or the territorial American in this case, but I would have to say I'm picking Ashida in this one because he's a lot more durable to get into decisions and win rather than Aguan, who's currently on a 3-fight losing streak.
That's the thing as well. It's been a while since he had the match of Kleber in Rizin. That was his last fight in Rizin. And so I think it's about a year, right?
Yeah, it's been a little over a year. Actually, it's been 15 months since his last fight. Close to it.
So we got a layoff as well. That's also something I consider as well is that layoff gonna affect him once he gets in the ring versus Ashida, who's just been busy fighting because he's been doing that. And so this is, here's the thing, on paper, it's a tough fight to make, to pick, I should say. I know the contingent of both of you usually cheer for the American, but in this case, I think Ashida, just because, he hasn't had that layoff. I think that Ashida is going to take this. I think though, as the longer the fight goes, I think that probably does favor Aguan potentially. So, but I think I agree.
If you think about Ashida for a second, he's also been the more fresher fighter of the two, considering the fact that he most recently fought at Rizin 31, losing to Masanori Kanehara, who's also going to be on these 2 cards this upcoming weekend.
Yeah. And also, I do also consider the fact that Ashida is more of a finisher. That tells me that he's more likely to get a finish. I don't know. Also, we got Aguan's having to do a layover, quarantine. Quarantine. Yeah, not for that long, but also all that stuff. I wonder if that's going to affect also how he fights as well. No, listen, just tells me that Ashida is more likely to win this based on other factors that Aguan has to face that Shida obviously doesn't have to face. And listen, I think also potentially the winner of this could be placed in that featherweight Grand Prix as well. So,
nice.
That's the other thing as well, that they should both realize the winner of this maybe gets a spot on that.
That'd be a great thing for them to think about during that fight. It'd probably give them extra incentive to go out there and kick ass and impress. So, and also to follow up on what Jay Krish was saying about the finishes, you guys got to remember, we're fighting under the Epic Rizin superior rule set that allows full pride rules for all listeners. That means they allow soccer kicks, face stomps, grounded knees, 12-6 elbows, suplex, slams, up kicks, everything. This is actual true full contact, the most dynamic fighting environment known to man. So I'm thinking the chances for a finish are elevated because of that, because the fighters are more acclimated to them now. And like I said, we're seeing them practically at least every show. We're seeing some awesome superior rule set at least one time every show now. So, I think there's a good chance it's going to be a finish. But I don't want to get the fans, too hyped, like where they're expecting, people getting stomped out Wanderlei Silva style every single fight. So, but it's definitely expects some awesome action. So,
Jay, you're gonna curse this card. There's gonna be like no finishes on this entire card by this point.
No, I'm telling you, bro.
Oh, this will be the only one that has the finish, and the other ones won't have finishes.
No, there's going to be finishes. Dude, the action this weekend is going to be so awesome. This is one of the best weekends of the whole year. Oh, so far for the first half of the year, this is the best weekend of mixed martial arts. This whole year right now, up to this point, this is the top weekend. I cannot wait to watch it, you guys.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be exciting. And continuing with more foreigners coming in.
Yeah.
JayWolf, I see you drooling on your camera. We got Azerbaijan's Vugar Karimov, fresh off his loss from last year to Yutaka Saito. Very controversial fight. Probably everybody remembers that. Taking on the Pancreas interim bantamweight champion, Taichi Nakajima. JayWolf, for you, are you familiar with Nakajima by any chance?
No, not since you. I mean, I've probably seen some highlights of him, but I haven't. I don't watch the Fight Pass stuff. I just see the highlights of him afterwards. So, but you said he's a Pancrase champ, so definitely looking forward to seeing. Or you said the Pancrase interim champ, but still,
yeah,
that still counts. So he obviously knows how to fight. So I'm looking forward to seeing him fight here. But I mean, hey, he's facing one of my foreign fighters here, and this Karimov, he is from Tofik Musayev's camp in Azerbaijan, correct?
Yep.
Yes. So he knows how to fight. This is going to be a great fight. I can't wait. This is the second fight of the night. See, dude, Sakakibara-san and the Epic Rizin people, they know what's up. They're putting two international fighters, international fights to kick off the event. So, I mean, dude, I'm expecting action right away. And I can't wait to see what Karamov's going to do. I mean, yeah, he lost to Yutaka Saito, but that was a while ago, and that was pre-pandemic. And dude, I bet you he's looking to come in here and go, you know what? He's coming to make a statement and say, look, the Tofik Musayev, he got picked up by Bellator. Now Karimov, his teammate, is going to be wanting to put on exciting performances to get the international organizations to pick him up as well, like they did Tofik. So I'm expecting just absolute fireworks from this show, or from the show and from this fight. But I definitely am picking Karimov here. I don't know. You guys probably know more about Nakajima than I do. Well, you definitely do. But I'm telling you, I just think Karimov is going to bring it. He wants to come in and make a statement. So I'm expecting action.
Jay, Chris, for you, over under on how many times that we see Vugar Karimov grab Nakajima shorts?
To be honest, I'm not no betting man, but you're gonna have to pick the on that one, because I think when it comes to Karimov, he has not fought in the Rizin ring in about 10 months. By the time this fight happens, he has not fought in Rizin since losing to Yutaka Saito, which basically screwed over his opportunity to get a title shot for the Rizin featherweight title, which of course we're going to talk about at the end of this card. But
can't wait.
He's going to be a bit of a different fighter than the last time we've seen him, because of the fact that it's been 10 months since he's fought, because of the fact that, unlike very few fighters from outside of Japan, he's been one of these fighters that's been consistently trying to get a fight during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when it comes down to it, we're going to see the same beast that he was, when he was fighting for the WWFC, not the wrestling promotion, the MMA promotion out in the, former Eastern Bloc. We're going to see that same beast come out, and we're going to see what he's truly made of. Now, as far as Taichi Nakajima, the interim King of Pancrase champion in the bantamweight division, I think that when it comes down to him, he's going to need to try and avoid this fight going to the ground, because let's just say, if Vugar gets that lower half, if Vugar gets that body, it's game over. But also, you have to think about it. This is also Nakajima's Rizin debut. I mean, the dude has not fought since December, when he got an 8-second knockout over Roy Imura. And obviously, he's fought in the WSOL Global Championship, won that title there. He's obviously fought for ACA, which is banned pretty much throughout the rest of the world except for that Eastern Bloc. So, he's looking to get that opportunity to fight in Rizin for the first time and show off what the entire rest of the world has been missing.
So here's some other thoughts as well. I did say he's a Pancrase interim bantamweight champion, but this fight's at featherweight, so he's going back up. Now he's also been a successful featherweight. So he has had wins over the man with the magic hands, Yoshinori Horie, and a gentleman who you might know, and I think he's on the UFC, Dan Ige, from Hawaii. Ige,
50K and Ige.
Yeah, so he's had his fair share of wins over really top fighters at featherweight. So JayWolf, I know that you're probably on Karamov because you love Tofik and the Azerbaijani gang. But I don't know. What do you think? Also, in fact, he's only been finished once in his entire career, Nakajima. All of his other losses have been decisions.
That's impressive. And you say he's got a win over the current UFC fighter, Dan Ige. I mean, dude, that's great. That makes me even more excited for this fight, man. I can't wait. And I'm not going to switch my pick, though. I'm still picking Karamov. But,
I'm picking Karamov, too. But only because of the fact that I think he's changed as a fighter. You won't see any more YouTube threats about him grabbing shorts or anything like that.
Yeah. I gotta say, Karamov is an incredible beast. He's, I don't want to compare him to Tofik because they're both unique, but really they're kind of very similar mirror images of how they fight, the two of them.
Absolutely. They're training partners.
Yeah, they're so, but but there's training partners who never fight like their other training partners, but Karamov is basically featherweight Tofik. And so I don't know. Nakajima had some impressive wins. I know he's a champion in Pancrase, but this is Karamov is a tough fight. That's a tough fight. He's a tough guy to prepare for. He's a tough guy to face. I think the layoff since the Saito fight really isn't going to matter. I think we're still going to see that animal that Karamov always brings whenever he fights.
Heck yeah.
I don't know.
Drew, I mean, if Yutaka Saito got Karamov, hey, Nakajima might be able to do it as well. You never know. It's true,
but don't forget that also had a red card, that fight, so that he got penalized for grabbing his shorts. I still think it's possible. It's entirely possible. If Nakajima's smart, he watches that Saito fight and sees how he was able to beat Karamov. But listen, if he beats him, I'll definitely call it an upset. If Nakajima definitely beats Karamov, would everybody agree that's definitely an upset?
I think so.
To be honest, I would agree. But here's the thing, though. Considering the fact that this marks Taichi Nakajima's what am I saying? Considering the fact that this marks Nakajima's Rizin debut, do you think that if he puts enough of an effort towards trying to beat Karamov but still loses, that he might get welcomed back into Rizin's good graces?
Oh, certainly.
Yes, that's how it works in Japan. If you come in there and you show the fighting spirit and you put on a good performance, they're going to bring you back regardless if you lose. And that's just how the Japanese fan base works, man. They like you, win or lose, as long as you bring that fighting spirit and put on a good show. They're going to want you. They're going to have you back. That's how it works over there.
Of course, that pretty much answered my question. Stupid me, botch. But still, that pretty much answers my question about fighting worth the damn.
The other thing also is that I just would like to bring up is that it's interesting that they're having Nakajima in featherweight, despite him being a bantamweight interim champion in Pancrase. So I don't know if I think it's a little bit interesting. I'm curious to know why he decided to go up again. But I also think this is a case of where the winner might be in that bantamweight Grand Prix. Does anybody else agree?
Oh, I would. I hope that you're right, Drew. I would love that if that happens.
Jay, Chris?
I agree.
Yeah, but listen, this should be a good fight. hopefully, the other thing about Nakajima is that he's a guy who never gives up. I've watched him fight in Pancrase many times. Like, even if he's losing, how just some fighters become, they just lose it physically and mentally. They just get drained.
Like they get completely complacent.
Yeah, I'll tell you who's exactly like that. Whenever he gets his opponents, whenever you see Volkanovski fight his opponents, and he just like chops them down, they lose more and more and more as a fight goes on. So that's I think Nakajima's not like that though. Nakajima doesn't bring that sort of energy with that sort of, he doesn't want that to affect them. And so if he can weather the storm with Vugar, he does have a potential chance to win, but it's gonna be very hard. I think.
Yeah, but I love how you're saying that it's going to be potentially for an entrance into the Bantamweight Grand Prix. That just adds extra incentive. And like I think Karamov, he wants to put on a performance and get, because he's trying to get picked up by the foreign promotions like Tofik was. Tofik got signed by Bellator, and so I think Karamov, he wants to follow that pathway and become the next star that's signed to another promotion. But do that, you got to put on a big performance in Epic Rising. And then, if he gets into the Grand Prix and then he shows out in the Grand Prix, that's how Tofik got signed by Bellator, because he became the prominence winning a Grand Prix in Epic Rising. So, I mean, and that's how Mano Cape got signed to UFC, winning a Grand Prix in Epic Rising. I mean,
and winning the Bantamweight title in Rising.
Yeah.
Well, no, he didn't win the Grand Prix. Let's be real, but he did win the Bantamweight title and had two fights.
He was finalist. He was a finalist though. So
yeah.
Semi-finalist.
No, it was my mistake. I got the title fight and the Grand Prix title mixed up. But Tofik won a Grand Prix. But no, basically, dude, the whole point is that the Epic Rising is a star factory. Stars are forged here in the crucible of Epic Rising and the superior rule set, just like back in the day in the almighty Pride FC. I'm telling you guys, we're entering a new golden era. I just cannot wait. This is so much fun. And the next fight that we're getting into here, two vets right here. And I mean, Drew, here, I can't wait to talk about this one. Bring us in on this one.
Speaking of fights that are going to be so much fun, and I know, Andrew, you're kind of busy, so I'm going to go ahead and take over for you. The fight that we got is a battle between two veterans, as you mentioned, JayWolf. Yuki Motoya, the former two-division deep champion, versus Alan Yoshihiro Yamaniha of Brazil. Of course, when it comes down to Yuki Motoya, 5'7", 134 pounds, age 32, born September 14, 1989. He is going to be the veteran coming into this fight, having basically fought pretty much, I mean, when hasn't he been on a Rising card? Let's be real. He was a part of the first no contest in Rising history 6 years ago, and the dude's basically been, proven that the Eminem curse doesn't mean anything by just beating up people left, right, and center and losing big fights. Now, as far as Yoshihiro goes, Alan Yoshihiro Yamaniha, 5'5", 134 pounds, age 36, born April the 4th, 1986. So he's going to become, he's going to be fighting, 11 days after, about 2 weeks after his 36th birthday. And you got to think that he's not getting older. He's getting better. I mean, he's fighting out at Nagoya by way of Sao Paulo. He's going to be coming in as the fighter with lesser experience, but let's face it. Do you think that Motoya's, I guess, dozen or so fights in Rizin more than compensates for the fact that he has more experience compared to Yamaniha, who only has 3 fights in the promotion?
Drew, your audio's off.
Audio is basically waiting. Please stand by.
Here there, Jay. After you, I'll let you answer that first.
No, I think look, they're both Epic Rizin vets. They both have shown that they know what's up with the superior rule set. So I don't think that just because Montoya has more fights than Hero does in Rizin, I don't think that's going to give him necessarily an edge. Maybe it will. I mean, you never know. But I just think that Hero's got 3 fights as well in Epic Rizin. So, I mean, that's pretty much plenty to get acclimated to the new, superior rule set and everything. So, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a factor with like, who's the more of a vet than the other. I think it'll come down to their individual skill sets and like, Montoya, he's a grappler, but Hero, he's repping Brazil. So he's got to be knowing some Brazilian jiu-jitsu grappling. So maybe this will become a striking fight. Who knows? But I'm just looking forward to this one because, dude, both guys, like you said, they're both vets that have been, they are acclimated to the superior rule set of Epic Rizin. So I'm just expecting more action packed from this fight as well. I mean, dude, every single fight on this card, I'm expecting action packed from. So, but this one definitely.
So everybody remembers that, the most recent fight that Hero had against Tezuka, who he absolutely just dominated and split open with an elbow and choked him out. Right? Everybody remember that fight that just happened last month?
Yes. Is that the one where he threw a 12-6 elbow when he was on the back of him? I think that was it. I got a picture of that one, but he had the back of the fighter and he was doing the 12-6 elbows on him a little bit. Remember? I don't know if it was that fight or not, but.
So here's the thing. So we got Montoya is mostly, like you said, a grappler, but Hero, being that he is surprisingly from Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu, rarely has ever used his Jiu-Jitsu, I would say, successfully in his MMA matches. The problem is, here's the thing, is that Montoya in the Takizawa fight tried to strike with Takizawa, and that was ultimately his failing. And he loses the guys who have significantly better striking than him. The only way that this goes anyway for Montoya to win is if he can somehow get Yamaniya on the ground. But if Yamaniya is smart, he won't go to the ground at all. The problem with Montoya is that he's so good at the one thing he does that everything else is kind of not as good. From what I saw from Hero on that last fight, I saw a complete fighter. And then that awesome match he had with Kuramoto, where he just took shots, just so many shots to his head. He had a competitive fight with Kai Asakura during the Brand Blake Grand Prix. I think we're seeing the rise of a Hero. I think we're seeing him definitely going on the up and up. I don't know I think Montoya might be going on the down and down at this point. Any thoughts on that, JayWolf?
Oh man, so you think Montoya is declining now already? How old is Montoya? Does it say? They don't have this one listed on Tapology, so you can't look it up.
Montoya is 32.
Oh no, he's got time left. I don't think he's declining. I mean,
he's declining in terms of his fights, game, and IQ being able to apply it in high level fights at this point.
I don't know. I guess that we're gonna find out in this fight right here for you, Drew. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that he's only 32. He's still on the right side of 35. So I don't see him declining anytime soon, like on a drastic level or anything. But maybe in terms of, like you're saying, that since he's a grappler heavy guy, he's got to figure out how to get Hero to the ground, or else he's probably going to lose, like you're saying. So,
Jay Chris
or something.
Jay Chris, we've been watching Montoya, like you said, he's been in Rizin seemingly forever. Now we got Yamaniha busting open the door along with his Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu buddies, and they're kind of taking over. Him, Kleber, Satoshi, obviously being champion.
Obviously, let's just say it's like the Irish in mixed martial arts in general. They're not here to take part. Say it with me. They're here.
Take over.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you think about this fight, Jay Chris? Do you think that Montoya, based on also his last fight, he did win against Kintaro, but it was a very poor win in terms of of a fight that showed me something about Montoya. So what do you think about this? How do you think this fight can go? We'll go. I'll say.
All I gotta say is this: when it comes down to Montoya, yeah, he's been fighting with Rizin, albeit also with Deep, but mostly with Rizin since the promotion started December 29th, 2015. But to be quite honest, I think that he's in due for one more loss. I mean, I think that it's going to be one Alan Yoshihiro Yamaniha flurry straight to the head or straight to the body and leading to a submission that is going to probably make Yuki Montoya rethink his career. I do not think that we're going to see Yuki Montoya 30-10 by the time this fight is over. I do think that we're going to see Yamaniha collect another victim and maybe introduce another member of the Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu team to Rizin.
Yes, I hope that. I wish that gimmick would continue all the time. That they just every time, or usually Satoshi's the one who would introduce them.
Let's face it, dude. Let's face it. Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu in Rizin is like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Pride or Team Hammerhouse in Pride.
Or I was gonna say SBG, and UFC. Well, actually, more Bellator. There's like people like almost everybody from SBG is in Bellator. I feel like
you signed the whole gym.
I think so. I think they might have signed the whole gym at this point. That's going to be every Irish card for now. It's just going to be SBG fighters on every Irish and British card. But no, listen, I agree with you, Jay Chris. JayWolf, do you have a prediction for this fight?
You know, I really don't want. I don't want to see. It's one of those fights where you don't want to see either guy lose. You know what I mean? Because I like both of them. They're both vets of Rizin, and Montoya's been a staple since it's been going. You know, from the get go. And Hero put on if I remember correctly, didn't he put on a pretty good performance? And he had some pride rules in it, or no? No, I'm misremembering that.
He probably has had pride rules.
I know Yuki Montoya has with ground and knees and stuff. So
yeah,
I mean they're both pretty acclimated to the superior rule set. So I mean it's hard to pick one. I don't want either guy to lose, but you know I guess I'm gonna ride with Montoya because he's been with Epic Rizin since the beginning. So I'm gonna ride with him, even though that's my heart pick. My head pick is Hero. So that's how I'm going to do it.
Fair enough. Oh, here the other thing is that I hope this can be an exciting fight. The problem is that Montoya likes to fight a specific fight, and if it doesn't go that way, it becomes kind of almost a little bit of stalemate, kind of like the Hokum Kintaro fight. That was pretty. It was pretty boring. But hopefully, he even said that he wasn't happy with the way he won that fight, and I think he may have said he thought he lost it. I could be wrong about that, but hopefully. Both of them, or I should say Montoya realizes that, hey, I got to put in a little bit more extra effort for this fight.
Yeah, well, he has before, hasn't he? He has some sensational submissions.
Yes.
In Rizin. So he's brought the action before. And Hero, I'm pretty sure I remember one of his fights was pretty action-packed that has some superior rule set action in as well. So they both have been proven to be exciting sometimes. So it's just I think it'll be more exciting than not, is what my prediction is.
Okay. But boys, here's what I gotta tell you. You gotta break out the steaks, you gotta break out the beer, you gotta break out the liver, spleen, everything, because meat is on the menu. And I'm talking about heavyweight meat.
Oh.
Let's hear it for the big boys. Let's hear it for the big boys. Because we got some open weight madness. I mean, it's like anything can happen in March, but it's April that brings the most thunder, baby. Shoma Shibisai versus Rihard's Bigas. As far as Rihard's Bigas goes, 14-7 as a professional boxer, 12 knockouts. In mixed martial arts, 9-0 with 8 finishes. This is gonna be Shoma Shibisai's toughest test to date, and I don't know why I'm sounding like a damn UFC frat boy when it comes down to this fight. I'm just so amped up about this fight.
So JayWolf, Your thoughts, man. Your thoughts. You're probably just are like, "Ugh, I can't wait for this one.
Yes. Oh, I cannot wait. This is one of my most anticipated fights on the night. Heavyweights, the big boys, bringing big leather, big power. You know, we're gonna see some action. Body's gonna hit the floor in this one, hopefully. And that's interesting to say that Beaches he was a professional boxer before he turned mixed martial arts. Oh, that's
Yep.
pretty cool. So he's definitely. I was seeing on the Rizin English Twitter account, they have little breakdowns of the fights beforehand, and they have him listed as a striker. So that makes a lot of sense. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this one. I mean, you know, heavyweights clashing in epic rise on a superior rule set. It don't get much better than that.
Here's my question though. I was a little bit surprised that this fight's on the numbered card. But the thing is that you know that on the day before they're having Shrek and Takakenshin. I kind of thought you kind of figured that you have the sumo guy and the guy who won in his last fight on the number card because that's kind of a little bit more prestigious versus, you know, these two who, you know, Shibasai lost his fight, most recent fight, and Biggest is making his debut. I kind of figured that they would switch the two, kind of just based on how, you know, celebrity and the winning. I don't know.
Is it because of the fact that you don't think that Shoma Shibasai is popular enough?
Well,
I mean,
compared to the sumo guy,
high school, dude. This ain't high school. You don't get here on popularity. You get here on basic skill. And I don't think that Taka Kenshin, whether he's Tsuyoshi Sudario's brother or not, has any skill, you know, to go on. Maybe after this upcoming weekend comes around, maybe we'll see what skill he really has. But you can't say anything about a 0-0 fighter with no skill compared to somebody in Shibasai who's already fought for the promotion about 5 times.
but also because here's the thing, Shrek won the fight. Shouldn't he get the number card just because it's going to get more eyes at least? Maybe make it Biggest versus Shrek. You know, I would have no problem. I don't know. I have a little problem with that because I just feel Shrek deserves better because he won his last fights.
Well, how high up on the trigger card is Shrek? Isn't he like co-main event or something like that?
No, he's not. I don't think he's Is he co-main event? No, I don't think he is.
I'm pretty sure he's pretty high up on the trigger card. He's definitely on the main card portion of the trigger event, isn't he?
He's on the main card. I think he's definitely the main card.
Yeah, so they probably need his name power for that card for the Japan audience, because that adds more to that trigger event.
Well, I hope so. You know, I guess that may be the case. Let me I got it right here. Oh wait, no, that's the 35 card, excuse me. He's third from the main. Kintaro Kuramoto is the co-main. Oh,
okay,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so he's definitely on the main card. So that's what they're doing. They're having him on the trigger event to add to the name power of that event for the Japanese fan base. That's what they're doing. So that's why. And then
I feel like they're doing Shrek dirty. I don't know. I feel like
really?
Shrek.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean,
it's kind of like if you want to be on a UFC card, you want to be on the numbers card. You don't want to be on the fight night, right? It's kind of like that.
Yes, but I mean, we had this conversation before about how you guys think that the trigger events are supposed to be for the lower level guys or whatever, and the landmark shows are like the name showcase events.
Yes, but I will not take any slander on Shrek being a lower name, especially because he's a pro wrestler and a police officer, and he beat Shibasai despite everybody saying that Shibasai was going to wreck him, and he made an amazing comeback in that fight. So I will not take any Shrek slander.
Remember his grunting of power?
Exactly, and there better be lots of grunting in that fight. But in this fight,
come think of it. Y'all saying about fights that shouldn't belong. I mean, I know this is going to be basically way up in the card. It's actually going to be the first fight you'll see before the trio of title fights. But what's it to say that the Tsuyoshi Kosaka Mikio Ueda fight even belongs on this card? Because this is Kosaka's last fight. But compared to Shibasai versus Biggest, Do you think that this fight even belongs on this card?
Oh yes, absolutely. If you remember correctly, remember the current UFC top 10 heavyweight right now, Jared Rosenstruck. Remember Rosenstruck?
Mm-hmm.
Remember where he debuted first, where UFC poached him from? That's right, the Epic Rizin, baby. Sakakibara-san is the one that found Jared Rosenstruck. Then that was a top 10 heavyweight. I think this is the same thing that's happening right here. This is Sakakibara-san and the Epic Rizin brass. They're bringing in this Bijis guy. He said he's a pro boxer. This is an exciting heavyweight prospect right here. And now this is his big stage debut right here, and he's coming up against a guy. So we're going to find out a lot of questions going to be answered in this fight. And who knows? It could be the next Jared Rosenstruck right here. Because remember, Rosenstruck was also a striker brought in from kickboxing into the Epic Rizin ring.
You know what? You're right. Dude's only 29. He's still labeled as a prospect. But I get where you're coming from. We could be possibly getting the next version of Jairzinho Holzenstreak into
I'm so tempted to call him Richard's biggest because his name, that missing C, the C missing is like bothering me so much. But I gotta read what he said. So this is
what? Let's go ahead and wait to hear how Lenny Hart pronounces it, and then we'll get an opinion about it.
So this is what Biggest said about his fight. I grew up watching Pride and wanted to be a Pride fighter. I respect Shoma Shibisai, but it won't be easy for him. I'm undefeated and will smash everybody in my way. When you hear that, JayWolf,
I love him already. Oh man, I love him already. That's exactly what I want to hear. The only thing that would have made it better is he threw in a Pride Never Die in there.
So are you picking Biggest to basically steamroll through Shibisai?
Absolutely. Yes, I'm definitely picking Biggest here. And I can't wait to see that. That just makes me even more excited for this, hearing that how he loved Pride and always wanted to be a Pride fighter. And now here's his chance, because the Epic Rizin is Pride 2.0. And this right here, this weekend of event, you guys are gonna see it, man. This is the first step. This is the door opening to that new golden era I kept talking about. When the pandemic is finally over, international fans are back. I mean, I just can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
Do you think he's gonna knock out Shibisai?
Oh yes. I believe this heavyweight is dude. It's gonna bring the action. The bodies are gonna hit the floor, and someone's going out. That's my prediction.
You know what? I gotta agree with you on that one. But here's the thing: we've seen boxers in mixed martial arts, fall hard before. I mean, we've seen the Ruben Williamses get beaten up by Kazushi Sakuraba. We've seen fighters like Trevor Berbick, may he rest in peace, basically get made into a footnote and made into a laughing stock by Nobuhiko Takada before. We've seen all these boxers go into K1. I mean, you have JayWolf, obviously. But still, though, when it comes down to Biggest, I just hope he doesn't screw up, because we're basically heaping all this praise on him and basically saying, how he wanted to be a fighter in this promotion because he saw Pride. But, this fight is going to be a whole hell of a lot different, while we're basically giving Biggest, all of our attention. We just gotta hope that Shibisai can actually make this fight in particular mean something.
Here's the thing about Shibisai: he's all of his wins are finishes as well.
That's right.
Exactly. Which is why this fight won't see the judges' scorecards.
Now, here's the thing: you have two people who are known for finishing their opponents. Does that kind of almost invite a decision win just because?
No.
Don't even put that in the air. Don't even put that out in the universe.
Don't even put that evil out there.
But here's the thing: if Shibisai gets this down to the ground, I don't think Biggest has any I don't think he has the grappling expertise that Shibisai has.
You're probably right on that. It depends on what his takedown defense is like because Shibasai has, if I remember correctly, doesn't he have some submission victories? Most of the victories are submissions, right? I could have sworn he had like a leg lock or something as well. Anyways, he knows how to grapple. So BG's is going to have to show that he's got takedown defense and is at least competent in the grappling department. Otherwise, Jay Krish could be right. It could be Shibasai doing the upset here on our newfound fave prospect here. So that's why they fight. That's why they have the fights here, to see what happens. So, but you could absolutely be right about that.
Here's the other thing I also, so if Biggest has watched tape of Shibisai, he knows that Shibisai does tend to get tired as the round goes on, as we saw in the Sakini Shrek fight. So if that's the case, if you're Biggest, I know that you want to probably get that first round KO. Do you maybe kind of want to drag it a little bit longer to make sure that that Shibisai gets worn down? What do you think about that, Jay Chris?
To be honest, we have never seen. I mean, let's go ahead and say it right now. We have never seen any of Rehard's boxing fights, even though I'm pretty sure they're all readily available to watch. At least I hope so.
Oh, yes, they are. They are. A few of them are on YouTube.
Of course. But when it comes down to this fight in particular, and, with heavyweight boxing, depending on the fight, it can either get really explosive throughout the fight, not just in the first few rounds, or it can turn into a slow, boring draw right up until the decision is heard. I'm hoping that this fight, even though it won't make it to the judges' scorecards, I'm hoping that this fight is exciting from start to finish, because I don't want to see no slow, boring fight going up to the judges. Because
I don't think you have to worry about that, Jake Krish, because just saying that he always wanted to be a Pride fighter, and that it's why he wanted to come here to Epic Rising, because of Pride. That just, dude, he's been wanting to showcase his skills under the superior rule set, like a Pride fighter, like Wanderlei Silva or somebody. So he's gonna want to be exciting. So I don't know. I just can't see this one being that being slow like you're talking about. I think it's going to be action packed from the opening bell. And I think maybe Drew's right. Maybe he might try to go for the first round knockout. I don't think he's going to want. He'll probably take what's there. And if the fight ender's there in the first round, he'll probably take it. Otherwise, he might do like Drew was saying and try to drag him into deeper water. But I just don't. I just can't see this one being boring. I think it's going to be excellent. And
here's I also want. I'm sorry, JayWolf, continue.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say also the thing about Biggest's opponents, MMA opponents. I'll say they haven't had the best records. Here's some of his opponents. So here, one of his opponents had a record of 12-36. Another one had 10-20, and most, with the exception of one, had anything that was like above 500. Everybody else was below 500 or debuting.
But that you can't hear that too. Remember, look at Khabib Nurmagomedov. The first 20 fights of Khabib's career were exactly like what you're talking about here. So, and Khabib went on to be an awesome fighter as well. So, I don't think that's a problem, to be honest with you. So I'll make my prediction as well. I think first round Biggest knockout. And you know what? I hope we get to see, remember when Rizin was bringing all those Mongolian fighters? I hope this opens the door to fighters from Latvia. I just want to see random fighters from Latvia coming into Rizin, just because I love seeing all the different flags. That's I don't know why. That's a little thing I enjoy, just seeing. Oh, where's that guy from? What country is that flag? Whether it's Portugal, Mongolia, Azerbaijan. Oh, listen, it's a cornucopia. I hope, who knows? He could be the. How funny. Jiri Prochazka was in Epic Rising. There was a Czech Republic flag there.
Yes.
That's close to Latvia. So.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you know how funny it would be if Biggest became the next UFC star, kind of like Jiri Prochazka. Let's not talk about that though, because hopefully he
Yeah,
can stay in
it would
No
Rising.
be.
more poaching. No more poaching of Epic Rising fighters. I'm tired of it. He's staying in Rising. He's going to be a star in Epic Rising.
Oh yeah, it would be funny if Rehard's Biggest becomes MMA's version of Kristaps Porzingis.
But I think definitely, I think regardless of how long the fight goes, I think it will be an exciting fight regardless. There's something about Vegas. I think he's gonna really bring it. I've been watching his Instagram. He seems to be training really hard for it. Seems to really enjoy the opportunity. And hopefully Shibisai realizes, listen, I gotta come back with a win. And then eventually we could get a heavyweight Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Yeah, of course.
sick. I would love that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. And now let's go ahead and get on into the next fight, because I know, Andrew, considering that you have the same style hair as, Spike Carlisle, I know you definitely want to talk about this. And JayWolf, since you're in the same region of the country as Spike Carlisle's from, you definitely want to talk about this. But let's just go ahead and get on with it. The Alpha Ginger, a guy who recently made his Bellator debut after fighting in the UFC and after fighting on all these different crazy fight shows. Hunter Schupisser Spike Carlisle. Let's get the full name out there. He's going to be finally making his Rising debut against Koji Takeda, the deep lightweight champion. Thoughts?
Drew, you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
After you. After you, JayWolf, you're our guest.
But you guys, this is one of my most anticipated fights of this event, of this whole weekend, actually, to be honest with you. This fight right here is going to be so exciting. And there's just multiple levels. Like Spike, like you were saying, Spike Carlisle, he's signed to Bellator right now. He just put on a fight of the year contender or comeback of the year contender, at least, or candidate at least. It was one hell of a fight and one hell of a performance and a comeback. It was so ultra exciting. And even on his walkout, remember the walkout. He walked out as a Knights Templar, badass. So he is tailor made for the Epic Rising and the Japanese show here. I think he's going to come out decked out in some kind of costume for his walkout. And we've seen him in Bellator just be ultra exciting. He's got UFC wins on his record, so the guy knows how to fight. And I'm just so excited that Bellator let him come over here to fight. And it's just, I mean, that's part of the Epic Rising and Mighty Bellator collaboration going on. I mean, we're seeing it right here come to fruition. The guy, he literally just signed with Bellator, but now he's fighting an Epic Rising. This is after putting on, like I said, a comeback of the year candidate performance. It was ultra exciting, impressive performance. And the guy he's fighting, Takeda, he had a fight of the year performance himself last year, fight of the year candidate performance himself last year with one of the best combos that we've seen in the Epic Rising ring. I'll tell you, I can remember exactly what it was. It was a suplex to a stomp to a grounded knee combo that Takeda scored. It was one of the best combos I've seen. And that was ultra exciting. It was in that fight of the year candidate I was talking about. So now you're getting these two ultra exciting guys, unleashing them together in the Epic Rising ring. I mean, this one has just got fireworks written all over it. I'm so excited for this one. I can't wait to see what Spike Carlisle brings to the ring, what his walkout's going to be. I mean, you saw the video. Like he, if I remember correctly, after Bellator, Drew, weren't you at that Bellator when
Yes,
Spike Carlisle?
Yes. That was one of the most insane comebacks I've ever witnessed, like in person for an MMA fight. I could not believe it. It looks like Spike was done, but my God. Listen, there's a reason why he's never been finished in a fight.
It was badass. But didn't he get on the mic and ask to go to fight in Japan?
Yes, and he said that after in the post-fight press conference.
Yes, that's right. And he got Scott Coker, Scotty Cokes. Oh, go ahead, Jay Chris. Go ahead.
Andrew, I bet you got recorded comments from all that when it came down to Spike Carlisle saying he wanted to fight in Japan.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember if he said an opponent's name. I don't think he did. He just said he wanted to fight in Japan. It's kind of sucks that the UFC.
And then look at Scotty Cokes. granted his request and is allowing him to fight in Japan now. I mean, that you know what that means, that Spike is gonna bring it. He's gonna want to bring the action. He's finally getting the fight in Japan. You know, he was talking about he loves Pride FC as well. Another guy that loves Pride FC from when he was younger. I mean, so he's just gonna bring the action. He's gonna bring the show. You're gonna see a great walkout. He's gonna love hearing Lenny Hart announce his name. He's gonna have a decked out walkout. I'm pretty much sure that's gonna happen. And then the fight is just gonna be action packed because he is a proven action fighter, and Takeda is also a proven action fighter in Epic Rizin. So this is one of my most anticipated fights of the night right here. I just cannot wait.
Not to get slightly off topic, but it's kind of sucks that the UFC did him dirty, kind of releasing him after 2 fights that he had fought very well. I'm not so sure why. It's kind of like the Poirier thing where like, why did you get released after just like 1 loss? But in this case, Spike got released after 2 competitive losses.
Yeah.
So, but hey, look, the losses Rizin Bellator's gain.
Absolutely. I was just about to say the exact same thing, Drew. Great minds right there. Great minds think alike right there.
Now, but so, you know, here's something very important though. This is what Koji Takeda said during the press conference. I mean, this is the most shocking thing, and curious to know what you got, if you guys think it will affect the fight. Takeda said, "I have stopped tanning."
Oh no, his superpower is going to be gone.
I think that Spike Carlisle is going to knock the Ganguro out of this boy. And if you know what Ganguro is, let's just say you got a dirtier mind than me. But still, though, Takeda stopping tanning, that's the least of his worries. I think he needs to start caring about his actual fight career, even though he's a former deep champion.
Mm-hmm. You know, so. Chris, it sounds like you think this is going to be. Is it a walk in the park for Spike Carlisle, or will it be a competitive fight for Spike Carlisle?
If Koji Takeda makes this fight easy for Spike Carlisle, it will be a walk in the park for Hunter, Shoepisser, Carlisle. But if you think about it, Spike Carlisle stopped training at the training lab out in SoCal, San Diego specifically. Now he's in Huntington Beach training at King's MMA. Do you think it's going to help him out with this fight as much as it did for his Bellator fight?
JayWolf?
Yes. King's MMA is one of the top gyms in the world, actually. So I believe that will help him out immensely. And I think this is going to be an exciting fight. Because like I said, Takeda, even though he stopped tanning and he might lose some superpowers from not tanning no more, but that guy is a proven, exciting fighter. Just like I was telling you, last year, in the first quarter last year, I still remember his fight was a Fight of the Year candidate. And like I said, it had one of the best combos we've ever seen in the right, a suplex stomp grounded knee combo. I mean, you can't get much better than that. And it just shows the type of fighter that guy is. He's an action fighter. So there's no way it's going to be a walk in the park for Spike. He better be prepared to bring it, or else Takeda is going to score the upset. I'm telling you right now, both these fighters know how to fight. So, like I said, this is just one of my most anticipated fights of the night right here. I can't wait.
JayWolf, for you, I have a question. So, you know, this is Spike Carlisle's first fight in Japan, first fight under the superior rule set. You know, he's fought in UFC, Bellator. He only knows he's acclimated to one rule, also the ring. Do you think Spike Carlisle will be prepared for just like this entirely new environment?
Yes, because when he was talking about and requesting the fight over in Japan, which Scotty Coke's awesomely granted here, he was also talking about pride and stuff as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So he is well aware of the superior rule set. He's probably been itching to get in there unleashed under it and to see what he can do. So I'm anticipating we're going to see action packed here, and I think it's going to acclimate really well to it.
So, and it sounds like you think that Carlisle will steamroll through Takeda, or you think this will be a competitive fight?
No, it's going to be a competitive fight. Takeda is not a pushover. Like I was saying, he had a legit Fight of the Year candidate last year in 2021. So the guy knows how to fight, and Spike is going to have to bring it and put him away if he wants to win. That period. Otherwise, it's going to be just an absolute brawl war if they try to go to decision. So for either guy.
You just brought up a great point.
Bring it.
You
Oh, go
brought
ahead.
up you got brought up a great point, JayWolf, that both fighters have never been finished in their losses.
Exactly. I'm telling you guys, dude, this has Sakakibara-san and Shingo and the rest of the Rizin brass. Man, they really did a good job with this one. And I'm just so thankful that Scotty Cokes of Bellator let Spike Carlisle come over here and fight. I mean, I'm so excited about this one. This is one of the people's main events of the night right here.
So we're all picking Spike Carlisle, I guess. I'm picking Spike Carlisle as well. Curious to know, first you, Jay Chris, do you think this fight will end in a finish for Carlisle?
Yes, it will. I think it's gonna end in a knockout finish so hard that it's gonna knock the spray tan out of Koji Takeda.
How about you, JayWolf?
Oh, I hope it ends in a finish. Yes, but I mean, it's both these fighters are tough. So it's whenever there's two ultra tough fighters like this, excuse me, it's the finish is never guaranteed. But I'm telling you guys, the superior rule set is a game changer, and we could just.
Yes, before we got a special guest. Oh, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Jay, but I think we got some random acoustic thoughts coming into the podcast right now.
What? Yeah.
Yo, what's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. What's up, brother?
What's up, JayWolf?
Yeah.
I've been listening.
Right now we're talking about Scotty Cokes letting Spike Carlisle, the Alpha Ginger, come over here and fight an Epic Rizin from Bellator, the mighty Bellator.
Yeah, that's like throwing up the bat signal to me. No, I've been listening. I'm stuck at work, so I'm on lunch. I took lunch mad early. I'm gonna suffer later, but it's worth it. I just want to say hi, fellas. And yeah, man, this weekend, Rizin vet Vadim Nemkov fighting Corey Anderson for the tournament final. We got some Rizin vets. I'm just gonna shout out quick. Simon Beong in London, May 13th. He's fighting Luke Trainer, one of their top light heavyweight prospects. That's a badass fight right there. You excited for that one, JayWolf?
Absolutely. You know me, Scotty Cokes and the mighty Bellator and these collaboration bouts. I love it. And are you going to talk about Tawfiq Messiah making his Bellator debut next week?
Hell yeah, he's fighting or the week after. He's fighting in Hawaii. I think it's the second of the two Hawaii cards. He's fighting Zach Zane. And
yes,
who else?
His teammate Kuramov is on this Epic Rizin 35 card on Saturday. We were just talking about that.
Oh, I might have missed that part because every time someone comes to talk to me at work, I have to take my headphones out.
Oh, don't even trip. But yeah, we were talking about Tawfiq Messiah and Kuramov, his teammate, and who's on this card in one of the earlier fights. So that's awesome that his teammate Tawfiq is going to make his. We were talking about that, how he's going to make his his Bellator debut next week.
Teep, we gotta ask you though. You saw Spike Carlisle's Bellator debut. Koji Takeda, who I'm sure you're familiar with somewhat. What do you think about this fight, and who you think wins?
I'm gonna go. Spike on Hart. No, I really have no idea. I don't know Takeda that well. I'm really out of the Rizin loop. I'm listening to you guys get hyped back up because once they bring in the international fighters, like I guess they're now doing, I'm back on the wagon. I'm back on the Rizin bandwagon. I've been off in the wilderness.
No, that's fine. Listen, I expected you to, obviously be on Spike's side. We're all picking Spike because we just think that, Spike is gonna. I think he's just overall better fighter. I think he's gonna come in with a purpose. He's gonna go right through Takeda. When it comes to this fight, but regardless, it will be an exciting fight. If DraftKings had a bet if this is gonna be an exciting fight, I'd put down $1,000 on it. That's gonna be an exciting fight.
Yeah, some people are almost incapable of boring fights. Fedor, for a really boring fight, you have to go back, like way back to the early 2000s, I think, for him. So,
Oh yeah,
like the Arona fight or something, or Babalu. Like you have to go so far back to be bored. I love that. So I'm all for that fight. Let me ask you guys, who wins between our boy Haraguchi and another guy I really like, Patchy Mix, in the Bantamweight Grand Prix? Who takes that fight?
Other Epic Rizin vet as well. Just want to put that out there.
I think Haraguchi.
Haraguchi for sure.
I have to agree and say Haraguchi as well, but only if he can neutralize Patchy Mix.
Mix is so long-limbed and he's so creative in there.
Yeah,
But
Nick ain't no joke. He ain't no joke. That's a great fight. And T, we were talking about how this weekend right here, this is my personal most anticipated weekend of the year so far for mixed martial arts. You got the Bellator 277 show, which also, just to let the viewers know, me and Teep are going to be doing a show, or Teep and I are going to be doing a show on Bellator 277 tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you guys should tune into that. We're going to preview the whole thing. But I mean, dude, that's with Bellator 277 and these two epic Rizin events. This is my most anticipated event of mixed martial arts weekend of the entire year so far. This is exciting. And I was telling the We Are Rizin crew right here, dude. The international fighters are back. COVID is over, and dude, we're entering a new golden era right now. This weekend right here is like opening the door to that golden era. This is like a little preview of what's to come. I
absolutely, brother. You're 100% right. I mean, it's been happening for years, but we are in it because, like, on Twitter, like I watch Twitter chatter, right? So I don't follow other leagues, fight to fight, or pay for. I only pay for Bellator and occasionally Rizin, but and I don't steal any content. So like I don't watch the UFC. I'm not going to pay for, but I do watch the chatter. And right now, UFC fans are fucking hype. One championship, their fan base is very intense. Bellator, all the different leagues doing great things. That's all I'm going to say. We're in a golden age. I'm not going to interrupt you guys too long. I just wanted to shout out Nemkov because that's our dude from Rizin. We were saying back when he would become one of the top guys in the world, and he absolutely is. So that's all I want to say. I'm really enjoying the show. I'm going to let you get back to Rizin. I think that's the appropriate move. I'll be listening.
Understood. And by the way, before you go, can you give us a way for fans to connect to you?
Yeah, on Twitter, Teep to the Junk, TEEP, Teep to the Junk. It's a kick in the balls. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Rock and roll, and I'll be listening.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Teep.
Right,
I tried this
show tomorrow as well.
I tried this poll thing on the chat thing. It looks like everybody's picking Takeda. So really? Majority Takeda over Carlisle.
Right. Oh my goodness, these people are nuts.
No, dude, no, they're not. Dude, Takeda is not some chump fighter. I don't know where you guys are getting this from. Takeda is a good fighter, man.
I mean, I get that Takeda's a good fighter for obvious reasons, but I mean, picking Takeda over Carlisle, especially when we already went through what we were talking about when it comes to Spike Carlisle's, kind of crazy. But not as crazy as the fact that this upcoming fight that we're going to be talking about is the lone women's fight on the card, and that's Kana Asakura versus Satomi Sarami Takano.
You mean the lone women's fight on the undercard, basically?
Yeah, not just the lone women's fight on the undercard, but the lone women's fight on both the Rizin Trigger third and Rizin 35 fight cards.
No, you're forgetting about Izawa Hamasaki too.
Oh, right. One of two women's fights on either card this upcoming weekend, but still, do you think that this fight being put this far into the card kind of dilutes Kana Asakura's popularity?
No, not at all. I think this will give them a chance to have more fans enter the arena and be filled up more for when their fight comes on. So I don't think so at all. I think it's. I'm still upset at her for beating my girl Reina, but I mean
twice.
Yeah. Oh, you had to mention the twice, huh? I tried to block that out of my memory, but no, I don't think it's going to hurt them at all with the fans being the fight before the quote unquote main card starts. I think that if anything, it'll help them because, like I said, the crowd will be fully in the arena by then, and for the main card basically. So they'll have a bigger audience to fight in front of, and no, I don't think it hurts their popularity at all.
I think here's the other. I'm actually surprised if this was not put on the trigger card because it kind of would give that would because you already have one women's fight, the title fight on this card. Why not have one women's fight on the other card? Plus, also not to mention Kana's lost her last two fights. Sarami is not a well-known name. She's kind of low level. I think she's Deep Jewels. atomweight fighter. So I'm just kind of surprised that like this is being put on here. You kind of, I don't know, it gives it a little more prestige putting it on the trigger card. That could probably co-main because you got Kana in the match. That could have co-main that show, I think. So I'm kind of that's a little thing I just thought was odd. But I mean,
wanted to go extra big for this 35 event.
I guess so. Yeah, I know. I guess it is. Also, I think they want Kana to get a win. I really do think they want Kana to get a win. I mean, here's the. I mean, I can't really say much about this fight other, Jay Chris. You got to be picking Kana, right?
Well, of course we got to be picking Kana. Isn't Sarami below 500 or right at 500 as a fighter?
No, but she's a fighter that's the problem with the atomweight division in Japan is that now, I guess, well, more so now or before than now, it was kind of just between Kana, Reina, sometimes,
and everybody else,
and Ayaka. I mean, now you do have Sario, Shima, and Izawa, but the problem is that everybody who's not them kind of is below their level. And I mean, I guess maybe Miyu's interchangeable in there as well, but this is still, I still think most of the fight of the atomweight fighters in Japan that you throw in front of somebody like Kana, she beats 9 out of 10 out of them. So it's so Sarami is 16-12.
okay.
So not so close. I mean, here's the thing: she has wins over Tomo Meisawa numerous times, but she loses to just like almost everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Satomi Sarami Takano, as Code Mayday pointed out, is the current Shudo Women's Atomweight World Champion. So let's say if she gets a win over Kana Asakura, would a fight / potential squash fight against Ayaka Hamasaki be in the cards for her?
I possibly, yeah. I don't know about title fights, but I definitely, Sarami would definitely welcome back. And certainly, listen, she'll be on a deep shoot duel, provided there's no major injuries. She'll be on a deep duel show she'll Shudo now. They'll probably put on Shudo actually, unless I don't think they allow. Do the Shudo still have kind of like that whole thing where they don't allow their fighters to really fight anywhere else on the regional things?
Not that I know.
Remember when they were with one, like their fighters couldn't fight anywhere else besides one and Shuto.
Oh Lord, don't even get me started about that damn one championship.
Komei Day, mentioned about the Sarami having the Shudo Atomweight Championship, as well as the Nina Krobi wins. I mean, again, I just don't, I don't see what Sarami has that Kana hasn't already dealt with and could possibly easily defeat. Plus, also, hopefully, the 2 losses puts in perspective that Kana has to come back with a strong win against somebody like Sarami. JayWolf, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Kana Asakura is just gonna crush her basically because Kana's real good, and like you were saying, they probably wanted to get a win or something. I don't know. Maybe the reason they're putting her on this card with the women's title fight was because maybe they want to have Kana match up with the winner of the title fight afterwards. I mean, I don't know, but I just think it's going to be a Kana victory, and hopefully she can make it exciting and use some grounded knees, and so we can see some more up kicks because the ladies for some reason have been bringing the up kicks in their fights. That's how Izawa beat Hamasaki the first time. So, I mean, hopefully, since Kana is real good at grappling and can take them down, I want to see her utilize those grounded knees, and and also since if she's in top position or whatever, I want to see some 12-6 elbows as well. I want to see these awesome moves. So I just want to see what happens. And Sarami, she's a vet. That's 16-12. That's a lot of fights. That's well over almost 30 fights right there. So she's experienced. So I mean, it's not going to be like she's going to lay down for Kana. So I mean, hopefully it's a good, exciting bout and a nice preview for the women's title fight.
Here's the other thing as well. So Sarami is also mainly a grappler. She's also competing in quintets.
Oh, good.
So and Kana is also mainly a grappler. So do
Yeah.
you think you see this fight ending in a submission for Kana?
Yeah, possibly, but that's good. I'm glad that Sarami is a grappling specialist as well. That's good that they're matching up two grapplers together. That means that whoever's going to have the better striking will probably win it. So that's I like that. It's a good bet.
The striking is they're both not really, I would say, strong strikers.
Oh, well, remember, the superior rule set is the game changer. It's the most dynamic fighting environment known to man of any time, basically. So, I mean, the mediocre strikers, like grapplers that are not as good at striking, there's strikes that they can still win, like grounded knees. Grounded knees are a game changer, especially for grapplers. So, I mean, we'll see if they utilize him and what they can do. But I'm anticipating if they utilize grounded knees, yeah, we could see a finish. It could be pretty exciting. So let's just see what happens.
Jay, Chris, you think this fight will end in a submission for Kana?
I think that this fight might end in a considering the skill level of Satomi Sarami Takano, I wouldn't be surprised if this fight did end in a decision. But then again, I won't be surprised if Kana finish this. Easy for me to say. Fuck. Finish this one off. Fuck, I'm so tongue-tied.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, I think
The point of the matter is I don't think that Kana would want this fight to go to the judge's decision. I think that this fight's gonna probably end in the first 2 rounds. Well, definitely the second round.
Nice.
I think even if it goes all 3 rounds, I think Kana is gonna probably dominate all this with her wrestling and just her ability to really hold down her opponents and just they can't do anything.
Well, how far does Sarami get in the quintet thing?
The funny thing is that she won her first fight because the other opponent unintentionally disqualified herself.
Oh.
And then she fought a lesser grappler in Ryoko Yoshida and beat her, but then she got beaten by Carolina Kuwahara, who was definitely.
How was her showing in that loss? Did she show some good grappling skills?
Oh yeah. Listen, that was the one where they had all the women in the facing off against each other. I think that was the second woman's one. I think. Yeah, that was the second one. All women's team grappling thing. So yeah, no, she does have good grappling in a grappling only match, but in mixed martial arts, how does she fare against somebody like Kana, who's just, I think, a better MMA grappler? I don't think she can really do that. Sarami.
You don't think Sarami can submit Kana with catch a limb or a neck or something?
She's not on the I don't think so. I think Kana is too well rounded and too smart to fall into a trap like that. Here's the other thing is I also think that Kana might actually play this fight pretty safe. If you're on a 2-fight losing streak, it's gonna be you kind of almost are hesitant to do anything risky. I feel like sometimes. I think that's also possible how Kana could fight.
You're probably right on that one. She don't want to drop a third loss. So, but you never know. Maybe she wants to bring it and put on a big performance on a numbered event. Like I was saying, dude, she's right there next to the, right before the main card starts. So, maybe she wants to put on a big performance and show out for the audience and Sakakibara-san. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
Now, everybody, you have to get your tissues out for the next fight because unfortunately, no, not for that. No, don't think dirty thoughts there, JayWolf. I know you're laughing what you're thinking, but not for that reason. It's because we will be having the presumed retire. You have to say presumed retirement of JMMA stalwart's favorite, been around forever, TK Tsuyoshi Kosaka, in presumably his last fight, taking on the debuting Mikio Ueda, a karate champion from Japan. So So JayWolf, what are your thoughts on this interesting, I'll say, fight?
Oh, I like it. I mean, isn't Ueda from Sudario's camp or no?
No. I don't know. I don't know. He's training out. Ueda's training out of the Brave Gym, I believe.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was thinking of a different person. So you're saying Ueda's a karate guy, so that's pretty cool. And TK, he's been a staple for Japanese MMA and pro wrestling for a while, right? So I mean, I'm looking forward to this one. And if it's his retirement match or presumed retirement match, like you were saying, then he's gonna want to put on a good performance for the crowd. So he's gonna bring it basically. So this Ueda guy better have his black belt in karate if he wants to beat TK.
Jay Krish, presumably the last fight for TK. What do you think about this fight? How does this fight go? Do we cry at the ends? I don't know. Tell us your thoughts.
Kind of think of it. I think when it comes down to this particular fight, all I gotta ask is, why the hell is Tsuyoshi TK Kosaka still wanting to fight? I mean, the dude's been fighting for about as long as Ueda has been alive. This dude's been fighting since January of 1995. He's fought for rings. He's fought, obviously, a few times in the UFC. He's fought in Pride. He's fought for New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is pretty odd because it was during the Inokiism era, one of the greatest but most devastating eras for New Japan Pro Wrestling ever. And of course, he's fought in Deep Heat, and last but not least, Rizin, where he's 1-2.
Actually, Chris, important note though, he was the first fight on a Rizin card ever where he beat James Thompson.
Mm-hmm. He knocked out James Thompson on that first Rizin card, December 29th, 2015. But you have to think about it. Is it really worth it that he's fighting a guy who's literally old enough to be his son?
Grandson. Maybe grandson at this point. I don't know. It's very hard to...
Kosaka's 52. This dude, Ueda, is 26. I mean, he's going to be 27 by the end of by the end of the spring. But still, point of the matter is, I just don't know if this fight's even worth. I mean, I'm not going to say it's worth watching because it is, but I just don't think it's going to be worth, caring about in the long run because whether or not this fight ends in a win for Kosaka, he's going to be laying the gloves down in the middle of the ring and doing the honorable bow and 10-bell salute and all that just to bid his career farewell. Do you really want to see him get beat the fuck up in the final fight of his career?
Hold on a second, Jay Chris. I just have word. I just got it from the news wire. TK said that he'll be signing with bare knuckle boxing after his last Rizin match.
No.
Yes.
Do you really want to see what advanced CTE looks like? Because that's exactly what advanced CTE looks like. Ask Melvin Gilliard that shit.
So that means TK is going to want to bring it and go out on a win so he can go into bare knuckle coming off a win. So, okay, I'm going to predict TK by drop kick KO.
Oh, well, don't forget he's going up against a karate guy, JayWolf. Yeah. You might see a crane kick. You might see a crane kick a la Karate Kid or Lyoto Machida to Randy Couture.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, but that'd be Ueda doing it. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that meant Ueda. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
I'm talking about TK doing a pro wrestling drop kick and taking out Ueda to get a W on his way to BKFC.
No.
Taker's like, no.
Now,
hope the ref steps in soon. Doesn't allow too much punishment on him. If Ueda's gonna beat his ass.
I don't know if any of you remember the last fight that Kosaka had in Rizin. It was a Crow Cop fight. That was one of the most brutal beatings I've ever seen in an MMA fight. It was like almost illegal what Crow Cop did to Kosaka in that fight. It was sickening. Remember that, Jay Chris?
Yes, I remember it more for the fact that the commentators shut up during Krokop's entrance more than the ass whooping that preceded it. But still, don't. It's like I can't even pick a winner in this fight nor a loser because this fight is like, regardless of the result, you already know that Kosaka is going to retire with his gloves in the middle of the ring and, you know, the whole pomp and circumstance that always comes with Japanese combat sports retirements.
So do you think that so you know, here's a little interchangeable heavyweight thing. I'm actually kind of surprised because usually when you put a guy who's debuting, I would assume that you want the debuting person to win. That's kind of what I think. So I'm assuming that Rizin probably wants Ueda to win, but like, would it have made more sense to put Ueda and Taka Kenshin
Yes,
to
it would.
debut karate versus sumo, dual UFC style?
It would make sense because it would be like not only old school UFC, but old school Pride, like the first few events of Pride FC, matching some of the best from one discipline versus the best from another.
Then you're doing like Kosaka versus Shrek or Kosaka versus Shibisai. Actually, Kosaka versus Shrek would be interesting just because.
That'd be fun. I was gonna say that's a good idea, Drew.
So I don't know. That's a little bit of weird booking I'm thinking about.
Well, you know what they're doing? You know what they're doing, Drew? They want to put Ueda over with TK's name. They're having TK as the name there, to where if Ueda beats him, that's going to put Ueda over with the Japanese crowd because TK is such an OG that and everybody knows him. So dude, they've been doing that for a long. That's how UFC does that all the time with their older fighters. They match them up with young prospects to put them over. They did that with what was a good example? Like Arlovsky. Arlovsky is an OG of the game for UFC, and they match him up with young prospects to try to get their name over on Arlovsky's name. So maybe that's what the same thing that Sakakibara-san is doing with TK here in Ueda.
So it's Jay Chris. Just for record purposes, you're picking TK to win. You said right?
I'm not picking anybody to win.
Oh, never mind. It was you, JayWolf, who picked TK.
Oh
right?
yeah, no, I would like TK to win by drop kick KO. That'd be awesome. But probably that's a heart pick. But the head pick is Ueda because he's younger, and it's TK's retirement fight.
This is also an MMA fight, though. This is not karate. Listen, if Ueda better know that, like, if he kicks TK in the chest, that doesn't mean he wins. That doesn't mean anything. There's
no point. It ain't point fighting here. This is real fighting.
I'm not so.
Here's the thing, though. If Ueda wins, let's just say he continues to fight. Code Mayday, and I'm looking at the comment section now. He's basically saying, I'm assuming Code Mayday is a he, that Rise and K1 wish they would have him on their roster. Who knows? Maybe if he wins this fight, he'll get an invite to be on that fight. To be on the match June 19th at the Tokyo Dome. If he loses, oh well, we'll never hear from him again. Mm-hmm. But when you think about Tsuyoshi TK Kosaka's career, considering that he's been in Pride, in Deep, in Rizin, in the UFC, and almost winning the Rings King of Kings tournament in 2000, if it wasn't for Randy Couture, would you say that his career is worthy of a retrospective?
Yeah, he's had over close to 80 fights, maybe 80 fights exactly. He's definitely
he's fought in 50 fights as a mixed martial artist, but probably 80 if you consider also his pro wrestling career.
He definitely is an important part of the MMA, Japanese MMA's developments. Don't forget the TK guard is basically butterfly guard. He perfected, and so many other MMA fighters have credited him. Ken Shamrock and others have said that TK's expertise in grappling helped them improve as well. So he's definitely a trendsetter. And also he does have a win over Fedor, technically.
Yeah, technically, of course.
No, that's not. That don't count. Come on, that's like Matt Hamill's win over John Jones.
Yeah, a bullshit disqualification. We know. It doesn't count, dude.
I definitely feel he's definitely Hall of Fame worthy. Kosaka is definitely Hall of Fame worthy.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
But I'm gonna have to pick TK on this. I don't like this. It's weird seeing somebody retire on a loss. I'd rather see somebody retire on a win. Like the John Wayne Parr kickboxing match that he had and won. It kind of sucked to see him go out on a loss for his 100th fight, or you're hoping to get his 100th win, I should say. So maybe I think maybe TK's long time expertise in MMA and grappling will be the deciding factor in this. But listen, if he tries to strike with Ueda, listen, he'll be definitely looking at the lights, I think, for his last fight, which I don't think any of us really want to see. Kind of want to see a happy ending, right?
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. I think he's going to try to grapple, and Ueda is going to have to show he's got some grappling, or else TK might actually get that win for his last fight with a submission or something. Because I mean, if Ueda is a karate guy and he don't have grappling, and TK gets him to the ground, he's going to be in a world of pain. So I mean, it's actually pretty intriguing to be honest with you. I can't wait to see how TK goes out for his last fight. So, and I'm sure they're going to give him a great send off with Lenny Hart and everything. So it's going to be cool.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All I'm hoping for is that he doesn't get treated in the same vein as Sakuraba versus Aoki.
Oh yeah. I don't think that'll happen.
No.
Now we're gonna move on to 3 title fights, which is funny. They're all also rematches, which I just didn't even realize until I just thought about now. But we're starting with the first one. Champion Ayaka Hamazaki rematching Seika Izawa. Izawa already has a win over Hamazaki in non-title fights. Let's not get into the whole non-title fight thing, or else we'll be here forever. So, but JayWolf, this is a very interesting rematch, especially how that first fight went. How do you think this fight goes, and who do you think can potentially win this?
Oh man, I am so excited for this one. This is one of the most anticipated women's matches of the entire year right here, because the first one was so exciting. Seika Izawa, she was arguably the top breakout prospect star last year because of this fight right here. I mean, she had 3 or 4 fights or whatever before that one, and had that unbelievable performance against Hamasaki. I mean, it was such an exciting fight. And she got her. Hamasaki is inarguably, it's known that she's one of the top female fighters in the entire world, especially at her weight class. And Izawa came in there and got her fair and square. And what did she get her with? Superior rule set up kicks, baby. Stunned Hamasaki, and she was never able to recover. And that's how Izawa beat her. It was with up kicks. So it's already proven with these 2 women that the superior rule set action is a factor. And we're gonna see right now. Now it's for 5 rounds for the title. So I mean, Izawa's gonna have to bring it. Because Hamasaki, she knows now. She's like, she just lost before, so she's gonna want to come in there. But hey, no, this youngster just got lucky, and she caught me with them up kicks that I wasn't looking for. But I'm ready this time.
Sorry to correct you, Jay. This is not. It's not 5 rounds. It's 3 rounds.
What do you mean? Oh, it says 3x5 right here for the title.
That's 5 minutes. 5 rounds. 5 minutes. 3 rounds.
Done. They tricked me.
You got cut.
Why is it not 5 rounds? Come on, it's for the title. Epic Rizin, you guys, come on, you guys. When it's for the title, you got to have 5 rounds. I mean, but anyways, it's still, look, Hamasaki is going to want to come in here and show that last loss, that the youngster got lucky, and that she caught her with, exceptional striking, and but she's still the woman to beat. And Izawa's going to want to come in here and go, hey, this is for the title this time. I'm the real deal. I'm going to beat this woman again. I'm going to take that title, and I'm one of the top, not a prospect no more. I'm one of the top female fighters in the world, and it's going to be proven tonight. So, I mean, I just can't wait for this battle. It's like I said, it's one of my most anticipated female matches of the entire year right here. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait.
Jay Chris, do you think that Hamazaki is going to avenge that loss, one of the few losses she's had in quite a while? Getting finished at that, or you think Izawa is just going to come in and dominate like she did the first fight?
I think that Hamasaki's probably gonna finish her off. And, you know, it's going to probably lead to a rematch again down the line because if you think about it, Hamasaki just wants to come in and prove that the loss that she had against Izawa was a fluke. That's all she wants to prove. She wants to prove that Izawa is too big in her panties just to get things done. I mean, I'm trying not to be too damn perverted on this podcast, okay?
It's too big for her britches.
Yeah, too big for her britches, too big for her panties, shit like that, so to speak. Basically, she's here to prove that Izawa is not the boy but a fluke. And I think that when it comes down to this particular fight, you know, Hamasaki is going to prove that tenfold.
So we're all in agreement that Ayaka is gonna come back and avenge that loss.
Yeah.
No, I did not. Well, no, go ahead, Jay Krish. Yeah, you pick Hamasaki, but I'm picking Izawa again.
Okay, I sound like I thought you were picking Hamazaki, Jay. I from what you were saying, it sounded like okay.
Well, I just think Hamasaki is going to be ready this time and is not going to get. She knows because last time, I mean, Izawa. I mean, it was dude, those up kicks, it was fantastic. Just a great overall performance from Izawa. But like I said, but Izawa is going to be ready for us too. She's going to want to prove that, hey, that was no fluke. I'm the real deal. That's what she's going to want to prove. So she's going to bring it. And I think she's going to be able to pull it off again. We'll see. I mean, I'm telling you guys that the superior rule set is a game changer and she knows how to use it. She's already proven it. That's how she beat her the first time. So, I mean,
so now the title's on the line. That's the more important. I mean, that's, you know, not to say that the other fight wasn't important because the title was not on the line, but it wasn't, you know,
right.
It was zero risk for Hamazaki and just all she got was a loss. But now she has to defend the title and defend her loss. So she's got two things she's going in there with. And then you have, like you said, Izawa, who's saying, oh, yeah, you know, that wasn't a fluke win. Actually, I wouldn't even say it was a fluke win because she basically dominated the entire fight. I think anybody who calls that a fluke win is incredibly mistaken. That was
what you're trying to say.
Sorry.
Are you trying to say delusional more than mistaken?
No, not delusional, but they're mistaken that like if they anybody thought that Hamazaki was winning that fight, it was entirely Izawa, and then Izawa finished her, pretty easily. It's you know,
it's impressive as heck is what it was. Super
impressive. It was impressive. But I just, you know, it's so hard to pick against Hamazaki just because she's been dominant for so long.
Yeah, agreed.
She has been nearly like, yeah, and especially, but like, it's interesting to see how she comes back from that type of loss, getting finished like that and just getting dominated. I have to assume that Hamazaki is going to be coming back much stronger. That's why I'm picking her. And might hand Izawa her first loss as a pro fighter. There's a lot at stake here, and it's very hard for me to really, you know, I don't even think it'll be the same type of fight. I think Izawa might try to get it down the ground. I think Hamazaki is going to try to keep it standing.
Really? Interesting.
She's going to try to do what she did in the Fujino fight. Remember the Fujino fight didn't even go to the ground once, and she stood up with Fujina and made it entirely a stand-up fight. And after the way that fight went on the ground, the first Izawa Hamazaki fight, Hamazaki might be thinking, listen, I gotta keep it standing. I can win this standing up because I have done that before. That's how I think I really think that's how the fight's gonna go. Jay Chris, do you think this fight will go to the ground?
I think it might go to the ground. I think that Ayaka might even submit Izawa this time around.
Oh boy!
Wow, that'd be a big statement.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be huge. If she was able to submit Izawa, that'd be just be like, okay, that first fight, this youngster just got me with those up kicks. That's what it was. But now I'm still the female boss here. That's what that win would be. But I don't know. I disagree with you guys. I think Izawa, like Drew was saying, Izawa was beating her practically the whole fight last time. I wouldn't call it a domination, but she was definitely winning for that most of that fight. And then just those sensational up kicks that just rocked Hamasaki, and she never was able to recover from that. And then Izawa just finished her, which was so super impressive. So, I mean, I think Izawa is the real deal, and I think that I think this fight's going to show it right here. She's going to come in there. She's going to prove that was no fluke, and that she's the real deal, and that the torch has been passed, and it's going to be passed right here in this fight, along with the title.
Question: how many up kicks do we see in this fight?
I hope it's over 5 or over 10. I hope there's plenty of them. I hope there's up kicks. I hope there's grounded knees, 12 to 6 elbows, everything. Everything that's great about the Spear rule set. I hope it happens in this fight.
Jay, Chris, do you think do we get a deluge of up kicks in this fight?
I think we might see at least over 2.
I think so too. I think we'll at least see one. Whether it connects or not, I don't know, but I think we'll definitely see one. So we're gonna continue on with the whole rematch title thing. We got Juntaro Ushiku.
Go ahead and talk about the featherweight title match that happened back in October, right? Was it October or November when the first fight between these two happened?
I think it was October. I think it was October. I'll double check on that. But yeah, we got
either way, Juntaro Ushiku, now we can call him Juntaro 2 Belts, faces off against Yutaka Saito in the rematch for the Rizin featherweight title.
So Ushiku kind of, if you want to call that a fluke win, you can almost say that if you want to, but what do you think, JayWolf? So we saw, I don't know if you saw Ushiku's deep fight where he defended the title against Koya Kanda.
No, I missed it. How'd he do?
Split decision, and I thought that actually Ushiku lost.
Really? So it's 2 controversial decisions in a row for him, huh? Defending the title and taking the title.
and then Saito, his last fight after the Ushiku fight was the Mikuru fight, where Saito just got dominated for all 3 rounds. So, well, I mean, thoughts on this fight, JayWolf?
I'm hoping that Yutaka Saito comes in there and takes his belt back. And I hope he does it in sensational fashion. Because remember, Yutaka Saito has one of the best superior rule set Pride rules finishes that we've seen. It was, it had a soccer kick and grounded knee, just absolute brutality finish. It was absolutely sensational. So it was awesome. So, I mean, I really hope that he brings that same fire back and gets his title back. But I mean, Ushiku, we won. I mean, even though you can say you don't agree with the decisions or whatever, but dude, he won fair and square. He got those decisions, and both of them apparently. So I mean, the guy knows how to fight, and he can get the decision. So if he don't get finished, if Yutaka Saito can't finish him, then we could see a repeat. Maybe she could defend the title. I don't know, but I am definitely rooting for Yutaka Saito because, I mean, he's already shown the brilliance that he knows what's up with the superior rule set. He's already proven is exciting on the superior rule set. So I hope that we get another one of those performances out of him this time.
Jay Chris, what do you think about this fight? How do you think this rematch goes?
I think that when it comes down to this rematch, we might see something that wasn't really a factor in the first fight, and that was pretty much added pressure,
That's interesting. I was part of a media thing with Ushiku. And here's the thing. He said something very interesting. He says he's not only defending the title, but he's also defending. This is also to prove to everybody that I'm a legit fighter.
Wait a minute. You were a part of a press briefing with Juntaro Ushiku. How come we weren't notified of this?
I got invited to this last minute. I think it was last minute.
Nice, you're doing big things.
And so he basically did say that. So he said that he wants to prove his that he's a legit fighter. Well, not a legit fighter, but he wants to prove that, like, yeah, listen, I won that fight fair and square. I'm going, and yeah, that with a win like this, it not only he keeps the title, but also proves that, yeah, that win was legit. So there's a lot that Ushiku he's fighting for respect, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's cool. That's great to hear. That means he's gonna bring it. He wants to, like you were saying, he wants to show that first win. Just it wasn't controversial, is what he wants to show. He wants to show that first win was real and legit, and he's a great fighter, and that this belt is his. That's exactly what he wants to do. You're absolutely right. That's great to hear. That just means he's gonna bring it. So I hope our boy Saito brings it as well. That's
also, if I don't know if you've seen the newest confessions video, 95. So Saito, apparently, him and the cave team have like this flow chart. They made this flow chart of like all these different scenarios and what to do if this happens, if that happens. Apparently, they said that UFC fighters do it. I don't know. Is flow chart training the best base for MMA potentially, JayWolf?
Hey, you never know. Maybe that gets them prepared for every possible situation. So who knows? Maybe, we'll see. We'll see this Saturday if it works for him.
Someone does agree with you.
Actually, JayWolf, the card's going to be taking place next Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's Sunday, but for American audiences, it's Saturday night, late night for us. Well, I guess technically early Sunday morning, but it's
Jay,
Saturday night, and so it starts here at 10 p.m. So that's still technically Saturday. So
Jay,
we're both right.
Jay, you have a fan who agrees with you about Saito. Naue in the chat says, "I agree, Jay." So
nice, yeah. Thank you to the fan that's listening that agrees. I can't wait to watch with you.
I'm curious to know, is it possible though that Ushiku can win in some sort of like really bizarre fashion? He does have a history of winning fights in very unorthodox ways.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like I keep telling you guys all the time, and I preach this all the time, man. The superior rule set makes it the most dynamic fighting environment known to man. And it's just a total game changer. There could definitely be something crazy that happens, especially if Ishika has a history of that happening in his fights. There could be all kinds of cool stuff that could happen, like, up kicks or whatever, slam, stomp. What I'm personally hoping for is a stomp KO. Those are my favorite. And, they took away one that happened at the first Rizin Trigger event, Kinoshita's. That was a KO of the year just because he helped grab the cage a little bit. But that was Wanderlei Silva S. That was a KO of the year. Absolutely just brilliant KO. And I'm hoping to see another one of those. But yeah, if Ishika has a history of crazy stuff happening in his fights, dude, with the superior rule set, it is definitely possible. And I mean, there's so many ways that you can finish a fight in the superior rule set. I mean, up kicks, stomps, grounded knees. I mean, and 12-6 elbows illegal. I mean, it's just the potential is there for awesomeness. So we'll see.
So Jay Krish, going to you. So you think Saito? There he is. Never mind.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick Saito just because of the fact that I don't pick Saito. I pick Ushiku to prove the point that he is gonna be one of the toughest featherweights in Japan. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, if he wins, that definitely will, dude. That'll silence the doubters and prove exactly what you're saying. He's one of the best featherweights in Japan with the big win over Saito, a convincing win, not just another controversial split or whatever. It's got to be convincing, like a finish or whatever. That'll definitely announce to the world, hey, I'm Ishika and I'm here. I'm one of the best in Japan. You better get to know me.
So I mean, here's the thing. So that Mikuru fight really worried me, like, about Saito. He looked really off in that fight. I'm assuming maybe, because that was Mikuru, a higher level fighter than Ushiku. But I'm gonna pick Saito. I think we'll see Saito regain the championship. Listen, if Ushiku wins, then yeah, he's legit. he is legit. I hope it's not like a split decision, very close, boring, or whatever type of fight. I hope one of them gets a definitive win, just because it can potentially close a book on this thing, and then we can get talking about that Grand Prix, and whoever's the winner will hopefully. I don't know if the winner will be in the Grand Prix, but certainly probably the runner-up. Whoever loses this fight can definitely be in the Grand Prix, I would think.
Yes, music to my ears. The Grand Prix, I love it.
I don't know if this fight's even going to go to a finish. I think this fight's going to go all 3 rounds. I think they're. Yeah, I think so. I think this fight's not going to be finished.
Of course, you think so, but that's basically just what most of these fights have on this card having in common. Most of the fights are not going to see the judges' scorecard, and you don't want to leave anything in the hands of the judges.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I think the main event we're about to talk about in a matter of seconds is going to be just interesting, just breathtaking, considering the fact that this fight is not only a rematch, but it's not only a rematch, it's not only a Rizin lightweight title fight, but it's also for the opportunity for Roberto Satoshi de Souza to prove himself that it's basically a fluke win for Johnny Case. And of course, what I'm talking about, Roberto Satoshi de Souza, Johnny Hollywood Case, for the lightweight championship of the world in Rizin Fighting Federation action. Souza has not lost a fight in almost 3 years. Case has not fought in Rizin in a little over 3 years and has since gotten into boxing and unfortunately got himself behind the long arm of the law. But when it comes down to this particular fight between these two old foes, do you think that it will end in more than just a cut?
JayWolf?
Oh yeah, I'm rooting for Satoshi to get the submission win over here and get that avenge that L to Johnny Case. Even though this is very uncharacteristic for me, because I usually always root for my American fighters, especially when they're fighting in Japan, because that's how I've always been. Even in Pride, I just love rooting for the American fighters. But this time I'm rooting for Satoshi to get that, avenge that L, and say, he is one of the top lightweights in Japan, period. And it just, but you know what? The first fight was great, and it was part of a Grand Prix, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or no? It
was,
right?
Part of the lightweight Grand Prix, where Satoshi lost to the eventual winner. Well, actually, eventually lost to the runner-up in Patricky Pitbull.
No, I thought he lost the Case in the Grand Prix.
Right. He did lose the Case. Case ended up going into the rest of the tournament and lost to Patricky Pitbull, who lost to Topi.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying Case is the one. Yeah. Okay, I see. But yeah. No, this I can't wait to see this rematch. It's like I said, I think Satoshi he's gonna want to bring it and hey, I'm avenging that L to him. And that's putting that in the rearview mirror, and I'm the best. I'm the champ. And Johnny Case, this foreign international athletes coming in again, and dude, it's in the main event, so cannot wait to see that. He's gonna want to bring it because he's been wanting to fight for a while. He said he was in boxing. How do you do in boxing? Is that
currently 3-0 with 3 knockouts?
Oh, nice.
JayWolf. I have to. The guys he fought in boxing were like 0-0.
Oh, well, still,
it was all Iowa regional level boxing. That's what it was.
Well, still, it's not like he's a pro. He wasn't a pro boxer, so he's pretty much 0-0 in boxing himself.
Yeah, but he's also kind of pro fighter. He has a little bit of a
just a little bit more experience than a debuting guy, right?
Yeah.
So, but no, I think he's going to want to bring it, and because he was talking, hasn't he been hyping this up on Twitter? I think I've seen him talking about it and stuff. So yeah, he's going to want to bring it and show the Japanese fans, hey, the COVID's over, international fighters are back, and we're here to kick ass and take the titles. But Satoshi's going to he's going to say, hey, I'm the best lightweight. I'm representing Rizin, and I'm avenging this L and proving to the world that I'm the best and I'm the champs, and I was going to be and still. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens. I can't wait.
Jay Chris, don't forget. I mean, like you said, Case hasn't fought. Well, he was also supposed to fight in PFL, but then that opportunity was taken away due to the charges that were laid against him. But now that's all been cleared. He's finally getting to return in MMA. Do you think the layoff will have any effect on him? Coming into this fight.
Hopefully not. If he's basically taking up boxing matches against bums, but
yeah.
But when it comes down to this, I am really hoping that, considering the fact that he's out of the MMA lab in Glendale, Arizona, I'm really hoping that this bout to him means more than just winning a title, then becoming Rizin's first American-born champion, then being just one of the biggest stars in the mixed martial arts world outside of those three letters that nobody should really take too seriously, because they are basic. Because if you look deep down inside, that promotion's full of assholes. But still, point of the matter is, Case should look at this as the most important fight of his life, because Roberto Satoshi de Sousa is looking to avenge his lone loss on his record and looking to prove that he is one of the top lightweights in the world. Johnny Case should be looking to do the same.
Yeah, but here's the big question. And so we've seen how Satoshi has gone up against high level fighters like, well, I don't know, high level it used to be in Yachi. We saw, he handed Tofik his first loss seemingly in about a minute.
Yeah, that's high level right there. That's high
but,
get.
But here's the thing: Johnny Case is such a well-rounded fighter, and don't forget the striking. That does Satoshi. Obviously, I think if it goes to the ground, Satoshi wins 100% of the time. But standing, does Johnny Case have the advantage in that case, JayWolf?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does, especially if he was, honing his boxing skills. Even if they were against bums, that's still going to keep him sharp on his striking. So yeah, Satoshi. I mean, unless he, got some newfound striking skills and been focusing on that, he's his bread and butter is his grappling, but it's world class grappling. So, I mean, look, he's probably going to have to there's a bunch of different ways to get to the ground, and like I said, the superior rule set, all kinds of different, makes the most dynamic fighting environment known to man. So there's all kinds of different ways that stuff could happen to get the fight to the ground. But if it goes to the ground and there's any kind of grappling involved, Satoshi's going to beat him. But if he can't get to the ground, like Drew, like you're saying, and if it turns into a striking battle, you're absolutely right. Johnny Case has a good chance to win. So it's just we're going to see how it goes. And I think didn't Satoshi do a jumping a submission to get Tofik? Isn't that, if I remember correctly?
He forced Tofik to the ground. He basically strong armed. He tried to jump through. He basically tried to get his back through jumping by his front. It's a weird thing. I don't know how to really describe it, but he tried to do that. I know what you're thinking of, but he basically forced Tofik to the ground. But if you remember, here's the thing: if you saw, listen, they just uploaded the first Case Satoshi fight on their YouTube channel. If you watch that fight, Case was able to. So as soon as he got down on the ground, Case was doing his best to stand up, and Satoshi tried for a triangle, then an omoplata, and Case immediately got out of it. He knew not to go to the ground with Satoshi, and that's the other thing. You gotta fight smart, Satoshi. If you goes down to the ground, you have to jump ship, and your game plan is, if it's on the ground, is to immediately get back up, and that's the other that's the other thing that Satoshi risks, is that if he brings it to the ground, he's open to soccer kicks, kind of like the first fight.
Yep, and if he tries for an arm bar. The best armbar defense, stomp to the face, baby.
Or even triangle, kicking their head. I guess it's possible. I don't know if it's ever happened before, but that's entirely possible. It's an intriguing rematch. It really is, because if Satoshi wins it, it surely shows that he is a fully developed MMA fighter, and definitely the top lightweight in Japan, unquestionably, because he avenged the loss. But Johnny Case, man, Johnny Case is a is an incredible fighter. I have to pick Case on this. I mean, I'm going also with that fact that he won the first one, and just I don't know if Satoshi has the striking experience to even go toe to toe with Case when in the first minute or two of the fight, since obviously all fights start on the feet.
Yeah.
It's a very intriguing fight. I'm definitely really looking forward to it because it's a rematch, and listen, are we all predicting a finish though, regardless? A JayWolf?
You know what? I don't know if I want to predict the finish in this and jinx it, and then that would go for a decision. So
listen, don't forget Satoshi has 100% finishing rate. He's finished all of his fights. So
well, there you go. He's gonna. Well, what about and the lone loss to Johnny Case was a finish as well. So he wins or loses by finish. So good. That means there's a good chance it's going to be a finish.
Jay Chris, you think this is going to be a finish for either winner?
Well, all I can say is, like I said, I obviously think that I'm trying to find the right words to this. I obviously think that Johnny Case is going to win this fight. However, it's going to be a hard-nosed, grinded-out fight to the finish. I mean, I do think that it's going to lead to a finish in some way, shape, or form. But if anything, oh my God, I'm just struggling on my words. Please fucking forgive me on this one.
What are you trying to do? Try to play a video game at the same time?
No. I'm not trying to play a damn thing right now. I mean, basically, what I'm trying to... Oh my God. I'm sorry if this is basically your first time listening to this podcast. I fuck up a lot. But what I'm trying to basically say is that that this fight will not see the judges' scorecards.
That's a Jay Chris guarantee right there, baby.
Hell yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah. Just for the record, I think Johnny Case wins by knockout in the first round.
Oh, wow. First round knockout. Is it going to be by superior rule set strikes or just regular boxing?
I think it's going to be regular boxing.
Okay, so you think he honed his boxing skills?
No, stop bringing up this whole him fighting the three 0-0 people. No, he's just a great MMA striker. And the first fight, you saw what he did to Yachi when they had their fight in Rise, and you saw what he did to Souza in their first fight. So yeah, listen, and he's finished almost all of his fights by KO of some kind. So I have to give it the Case in that case.
Pun intended.
So with that being said, gentlemen, JayWolf, first to you. What are two fights you're looking forward to on this 10-fight card at Rizin 35?
Okay, this number one, the one I'm most looking forward to, besides the title fights, of course, is the Takeda Spike Carlisle fight. That one is just, I mean, dude, there's so many storylines with that. Scotty Coxon, Mighty Bellator, collaborating with Epic Rising to allow Spike Carlisle to come here and fight right after signing a contract with them. It's just freaking awesome on so many levels because it's opening the door. There's going to be Spike Carlisle is just the first of many. Like I keep telling you guys, this event right here is just opening the door to that goal in there. It's just going to be so much fun going forward. I can't. This event and in the future it's just going to be so much fun. So that Takeda Carlisle fight, I'm really looking forward to that one on so many different levels. Exciting fighters, the collaboration with Bellator, it's just going to be awesome. And then for my second one, I don't know, to pick between the three title fights, I got to go with the Hamasaki Izawa rematch, just because that first one was it's so great for women's mixed martial arts and especially in Japan, because I mean, just Sika Izawa just being a prospect of, I mean, yeah, she was the prospect of the year, the breakout fighter of the year last year. I don't care about anybody. She just what she did last year was amazing, and beating Hamasaki like that with up kicks, showcasing a superior rule set is just the most dynamic fighting environment known to man, and just showed you how the up kicks, the superior rule set, is just a game changer with those strikes, the pride rule strikes. I mean, it's just awesome. I just can't wait to see how the rematch goes, and if she's able to recreate that magic, and or Hamasaki just going to show that, hey, I'm still the best here. I mean, there's so many great storylines with that one as well. It's just I'm really looking forward to those two bouts. But I got to say, it's not those are not the only two I'm looking forward to. I mean, this whole entire card is just awesome. It's just I just can't wait. I love it. It's just, dude, COVID is over. International athletes are back, baby. I mean, I just can't wait to see them unleashed on the superior rule set and see how it's going to go. It's going to be so much fun. I just can't wait to watch with you guys.
Jay Chris, actually, I'm going to rephrase my question because I like the way that JayWolf answered. Pick one non-title fight you're looking forward to, and one of the 3 title fights you're looking forward to.
Well, one of the non-title fights I'm looking forward to, one, obviously you say, is the Spike Carlisle versus Koji Takeda fight. I think we're all looking forward to seeing how Carlisle does in the environment that he dreamed of being in, especially considering the fact that he can just go wild, hang loose, let it all hang out. Well, not literally though, not like Dennis Hallman. But still, if you know, you know, okay? But obviously the main title fight I'm looking forward to, because it's going to be a triple header of title fights at the end of the show. Well, worth your $25 on Live Now, or $30 if you're getting the bundle, is Roberto Satoshi de Sosa versus Johnny Case, because I think we're all going to be looking forward to seeing how interesting this rematch plays out, and see if Johnny Case becomes the first American-born Rizin champion.
So, Spike Carlisle and Koji Takeda was already chosen. So let me be a little bit different. Since I'm not going to choose that one, I'm going to say I'm looking forward to Rihar's biggest and Shoma Shibisai.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's going to be a banger of a fight. I think it's going to be insane. I think that it's going to be that'll be insane in a different way than Takeda and Carlisle. But in terms of title fights, listen, it's very hard for me. I can't really not choose Case and Souza. It's just an intriguing fight, just because of the story behind it, and everything. We'll see where Satoshi is as an MMA fighter on this fight, and we'll see how Case is, with that nearly 2-year layoff in MMA. Listen, hey, happy to say that Johnny Case was one of the low key Rizin favorites that they would always bring in. So looking forward to see what if he wins, maybe if Spike wins, maybe a Spike Case fight in Rizin. Who knows?
Ooh, that'd be nice. That'd be
great,
Drew.
That's beautiful, especially considering the fact that, and Dream was notorious of having fighters from the same country face off against each other. Pride was notorious for that. This would be the first time that 2 Americans would face off against each other in the Rizin ring, and it would really show all these super zombies just how interesting the superior rule set really can be.
That's right.
Just need to get through next weekend, of course.
So Chris, Jay Chris, I'll let you wrap it up from here.
Okay, JayWolf, social handles. How can people contact you?
Okay, on Twitter, I follow back. All you gotta do is be a real person and follow me, and I follow you back right away. And that's at JayWolf1. It's misspelled on purpose. That was my screen name from way back since like 06 or whatever on the Yahoo boards when JayWolf was taken. So I had to do 2 Y's to misspell it. But that's just stuck for all these years. So that's how you know it's me and not some imposter, because nobody else is going to misspell it. So that's how you can find me on Twitter, is at JayWolf1. And I follow back as long as you're a real person. And also, I just want to make a plea to the fans. First I want to say thank you for watching and listening to us here talk about this awesome Epic Rizin event. But now,
let's be honest, JayWolf, you're part of the family now. You're pretty much our go-to guy when we need you for these shows. You're pretty much a part of us.
Oh, thanks, brother. I really appreciate that. It's a great honor, and I really have a lot of fun talking to you guys about this. And this is one of the only places that I'll make an appearance on. To be honest with you. I'm like, my spirit animal is a wolf, so I like to be in the shadows. You know what I mean? So I don't like to be putting myself out there. But for you guys and for Epic Rizin, absolutely. I love being here. I love talking with you guys. I love talking to the fans, and I appreciate everybody listening. So I just want to make a plea with them to please buy the bundle and get both the Rizin Trigger 3rd and the Rizin 35 event. It's offered in a bundle for $30 on Live Now. And I definitely recommend getting that. And I would ask you to please do that instead of illegally stream, because you're supporting the Epic Rizin and the superior rule set when you do that.
So I'm sorry, Jay. We're just going to quickly say about that.
Right.
Okay. I apologize. I don't like interrupting, but one quick thing I'll say about that is if anybody, who's complaining about no international people on Rizin, please put your money where your mouth is and actually say, okay, this is an international fighters from Latvia and the United States. And Guam as well.
Brazil. And hopefully international fighters from all the rest of the fucking world.
So yeah, just put your money.
Don't you guys worry. Don't you guys worry. This is the beginning of that. COVID is now officially over, okay? And the international athletes are back. And this train is rolling. And the fun is not going to stop, okay? The fun train is rolling, and it is here and it is rolling. And we're going to have, this year. I keep preaching this, but we are entering a new golden era, and this right here, this weekend, is the opening of that door to that new golden era. It's gonna lead to the matches after this one, and all the rest of Epic Rizins after this one is gonna have international athletes on it. Dude, I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be so much fun. Pride 2.0 is here, and I just want to say, and also thank you to the fans that support as well. And before I go, I just want to make sure I get this in and say, Pride never died. Pride is rising, baby. Jay Krish knows what's up.
Exactly. And I mean, thank you for being a part of our show, JayWolf. You're officially a member of our family as of tonight.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother. Really do. Really appreciate it. It's awesome.
And Andrew, just to save some time, they can follow you on Twitter at abenja1. They can, add you as a friend on Facebook, and they can check out your articles on MMAsucker.com, right?
Yep, correct.
Oh, and they can also follow you on Instagram as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course. And they can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and add me as a friend on Facebook. I'm on Facebook at J Christian Gary 1992, or you know what? Just search up J Christian Gary. That's pretty much easier to do. If you want to add me or follow me on Twitter, I'm on Twitter at ChrisGary92, on Instagram at ChristianGary1992. But if there's one thing I can promise you, is that that if you miss out on this Rizin bundle, Rizin 35 and Rizin Trigger the 3rd, you are going to be a dearly disappointed, dreaded up Zupa zombie with nothing to care about as far as actual fight opinions, because this card is going to be 19 fights of excitement, 19 fights of just in your face, head kicking, elbow throwing, head button, stomping, romping action.
Yes.
All courtesy of the Rizin Fighting Federation, as it will take place from the Musashino Sports Plaza in Chofu, Tokyo, Japan. Both cards will start at 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific. The Rizin Trigger the 3rd card, April 15th in JayWolf's territory at 10 p.m. Eastern, and April 16th, 10 p.m. Eastern. But for the rest of the country, in in the U.S. Central and Eastern time zones. 1 Eastern, midnight Central, or check your local listings for the time in your area. And be sure to pay the $25 for either of these cards or $30 for the full card, because I guarantee you, like the sound clip said, you will be left disappointed. But still, that's about it for us for now. We hope you enjoyed this edition of the We Are Rising podcast. I just want to say thank you for checking us out. If this was your first time checking us out, let your friends know. Have them subscribe to the YouTube channel at We Are Rising Podcast, or follow us on Twitter at We Are Rising Pod. That's WeAreRizinPod, all in one word. And if you want to follow us through Focus Fights, we cover some of the best prospects known the world over. The rest of the world's fight sphere will be what am I trying to say? Will be spotlighted. This is what I'm trying to say. You can follow us on Twitter at Focus_Fights. Follow us on Instagram at Focus Fights. Hopefully, we will get the FocusFights.world website up and running within the next month. But also, please check out the Focus Fights audio podcast. It's available on Anchor.fm, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, and coming soon on Apple Podcasts. But yeah, that's it for us for now. I'm the Chillmeister, Chris Gary, saying peace, my peoples, in one love world. Protect yourself and each other. Keep your head up at all times, and always remember, as the great Lenny Hart always likes to say,